well, not finished. Pick up some of the cleanup because I was trying to do cleanup around the place, like knowing that's my thing, the spring and summer cleanup. But also, I was trying to get everything right so I can get this pool in here maybe in a month or so.
That's what I'm talking about.
So get rid of that. Like, you know how we talked about you don't want to do anything and you just half cocked? Like that half cocked, that chicken coop and all of that stuff. And
right.
I was like, I don't want no pallets around the place at all. I want stuff that's functional. You know what I mean? That's going to last a long time.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
For those few who are here as we wait for the room to fill up. That's what's up, man. That pool is going to be awesome.
Man, it'll be a treat when you're doing something.
No doubt.
Oof. I want to see how this internet. Man. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it's been a week.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, Brother Ken, he gonna buy some shirts, and they kind of, I'm gonna be honest, the logo and stuff he putting down on them, they nice. But I'm gonna shoot y'all the email that way y'all can see them. It's his own thing. It's kind of cool. He emailed me about it last week or whatever, but yeah, he actually, you know. Now that's interesting. Brother Ken is, watch this now, supportive. I'm not gonna clown, but I appreciate him. And then he want to do something for us. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Hey, I mean, to be honest, for those of y'all who are looking at the live stream, that we the people, Deuteronomy 28, guess who that came from?
Brother Ken.
And Brother Ken, you gotta take this. The Bible says, "Let another man's lips praise you." So we praising you. We give you didn't ask for this, but we gonna say it. He sent all three of us one.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna put
all
that
three of us.
That's what mine is. How to do it. Even if I gotta learn how to stick weld.
Yeah, mine's already out there. Well, you know how it has little holes in it?
So you can
I just screwed it into a board. Into a solid board that was big enough for it to be on so that you could see it in the contrast of the background.
Awesome.
That sounds pretty good. That's awesome.
Yeah, we put ours on the tree at the head of the driveway.
Oh, that's awesome, brother.
It's either right above or right above the Mothland sign. I can't remember which one, but yep.
That thing is nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, Brother Ken. You did an excellent job.
No doubt.
Thank you, Brother Ken.
He didn't even want to be acknowledged as Hebrew of the month.
Nope. He didn't say, "Hey, brothers, can you secretly give me a shout out?"
Nope.
Ooh.
So y'all week been good?
Yes, sir.
Man. I done put down more tomatoes and green beans starts I ever have in my life. I don't ever want to see another one ever. And I still got like 100 left I got to put in. I think I put in probably about 100. When I was done, about 125 tomatoes, 125 green beans. Woo. And then we, hand me that bag right there. Yeah. We let a lot of our seeds go to, a lot of our plants go to seed intentionally.
Wow. Those came from your plants?
So me and the children were out here. We put a tarp down. We let it all up there. And we were just, we were crumbling them, letting the seeds fall. Packaged this one up. I packaged another one up. The sad thing is, I don't even know what these are. So I can't sell them because I don't know what to sell. I was, they might be turnips, but I'm not sure what kind. Purple top, or white. I don't know. So I was like, oh man, I can't even sell the seeds. But for those of you that
like a mystery bag,
I might do that. I might sell like, like cut the price in half and sell it mystery seed. It could be a mustard. It could be a turnip. It could be an Asian variety green. I got no clue. It's a surprise. Cause I know a lot of people like I did the okra surprise, which is I mixed in the 5 types of okra I grow. I mixed them all into one bag and sold that one bag, so they had a variety of okra.
That's awesome.
When they bought it, they love that one. So I may be doing that one again.
I'll buy some mystery bags.
You want some mystery? I'll give you some mystery bags. You ain't gotta buy them. You already know that.
Well, but I will. Yes, sir.
We barter.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll barter. There you go. I'll barter.
Well, we barter. There you go.
Hey, because I believe those, when it's cultivated close, I think it's better than when you're buying seeds from afar off. In fact, I know.
Yes. Because it's used to the soil.
Yes, sir. Oh man.
T Water said Little Shop of Horrors seeds. I may name them that. Little Shop of Horrors, Little Shop. I love that show.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's a talking plant.
Oh man.
Oh, Brother Ken said he'll pay for a mystery bag. Brother, I think I got your address. I'll send you some. Yes, sir.
Who was the little guy with the glasses in that movie?
I can't remember his name.
That was the movie with Feed Me Seymour.
Yep. But I got red Swiss chard that's in seed right now. I got giant Ford Hook Swiss chard, tons of Florida mustards, Detroit, and red blood beets. Both of them are in seed right now. I got a lot of stuff in seed. Now I'm growing sugar beets.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can if there's those and the mongrel seeds, they use those to produce sugar.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna see if and then they also use the pulp as a feed for animals.
Wow.
So that's the second part that I'm looking at. I did not know that, but a lot of your store-bought feed is actually beet pulp.
Man.
So they mix it with grains. So after we're done growing, it's my first year doing them. So I'm gonna let half of them go to seed next year, and then I'll probably make those available for sale. But man, I'm thinking like it'd be kind of cool to make some sugar.
Man, absolutely.
Oh, T Waters. T Waters said Rick Moranis.
That sounds about right.
Yep. Oh yeah, straight out of Judah said it too. I like that one part. He's like, something, I'ma bust your balls.
That
part was funny. Plant? It's a talking plant.
Oh man.
It's like a giant Venus flytrap, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's got arms, it dances, it fights. It's hilarious. Jay Morris, I got your email. I was going to respond to you. Brother, I've been there. It got so bad at one point, you almost don't even want to have visitation with your children. Because every time you do, there was an allegation every single time I saw him. Every single time I saw him, there was an allegation. I couldn't go outside and do what a father does with his children. Play football, tackle them, wrestle with them. You couldn't do that because if they got one owie, one bruise, one cut,
Yeah.
Man.
Let me read you a chapter, Brother Jay. It's in Proverbs. This is what got me through my allegations. When you sitting back and you're just like, this person lying every single time. Psalms 140. If you look at it, brother, this is my deliverance prayer. Psalms 140. And it says, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. So traps. I said unto Yahweh, thou art my Yah. Hear the voice of my supplication, O Yahweh. O Yahweh, my Elohim, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Selah. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning hot coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire. In the deep pits, that they rise not up again. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Brother, when I was sitting in court, T. Waters, thank you, brother. We are honored. We are honored. Thank you. When I was sitting in court, I read that chapter over and over, because you know when a person just sitting there lying and you like, how do you even do that? How do you lie knowing that you're going to destroy somebody else and just maintain it? How do you do that?
Reprobate
So I prayed that prayer. Go ahead, brother.
A reprobate mind.
Reprobate mind, brother.
No fear of God.
Psalms 143 is another good one. I read those over and over again because David said it. He cried out to Yahweh, preserve me. Preserve me, Yahweh. If the wicked have their way, they will exalt themselves over you, Father. They will talk about how their God is stronger than you. And then at the end, I asked them, but let your will be done. So if this is your will, if your will is for me to not have my children, let it be done. But at least let not their wicked device, let not their slander and lies, because you know they're trying to destroy you. They want to see you in jail or under the jail. It's not just good enough that they want the children. They want to see you suffer. For some reason, exes are the nastiest people I've ever seen. It's not just good enough that you just like, hey, you know, it ain't going to work out. And we're talking about that today. Covenants, contracts. But it's not good enough that they say, hey, or you say, it's not working out. Usually it's them. It's not working out. You're like, all right, cool. So how are we going to do this? Let's just separate the things amicable. Tell me what you want. I'll give it to you. Ain't no problem. Nope. Ain't good enough. They want to see you suffer for some weird reason. It's sick. It's absolutely sick.
That just lets you know how much care we have to use with even building our home. I mean, that way
Man.
you know what I mean? You ain't gonna catch everything, but I believe if the vetting process is, something serious, with the same sincerity we have with our family, if we take that same sincere look at people, maybe we can avoid some of that stuff. Now, like I said, you ain't gonna catch all of it, but you know what I mean.
Right.
After a while, things start to show up in people's character. I mean, you can only play the role for so long.
Yes, sir.
You can only act the part. You can only act spiritual, holy, and all that other stuff people be trying. You can only put on the shenanigans for a short span of time. Then the real you come out.
Yes, sir.
And you know it's wickedness because as soon as the woman leaves, she goes after the children. Like that's shit
money.
Crazy.
That's their money. I tell people around here we be clowning. I like that's they stimulus checks. And even before it was stimulus, that was they earned income credit. Most people don't. I done met a lot of people. They don't need parenting. Is not what they trying to do. Build a household is not what they trying to do. They just trying to make them those children that they have are basically little dollars running around.
Yep.
It's sad. It's sad, brother. But it's true.
She over there counting money like, how much am I going to get for him?
Hey, that's right. Hey, you know it.
That's them baby mama's meal ticket.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey, that's their retirement plan. That's a part of their retirement plan.
Man.
You know some of them be plotting. They be like, shit, I'm 34 years old. If I get knocked up right now, I'm set till I'm 52. All I gotta do is add one more around 39, 40. I'm set till I'm 60. Ball game.
Man.
I can collect child support. When the taxes come, I'm gonna get that child tax credit, that earned income credit. Woo!
Hey, and if they hang in there long enough, oh my bad, bro. Go ahead.
And I just had a church cover me.
Yep. There you go. That's a whole plan. That's their 401k right there, the church.
Yep.
Man.
They got the whole thing set up. And men, all y'all there is for is you're the penis, you're the sperm donor, and you're the paycheck.
Yes, sir.
You donate your sperm, and I'm not talking about you, Jay Morris, because you were actually married. But some of these men just running around sowing seed in anything. Then, when they find out they in trouble, she don't want the child support. You got your paycheck, and you usually get $1,500, twice a month. That check said 36 cents.
Man.
And I'm saying that I can laugh because it happened to me. I was like, she was like, you paying me child support? I was like, Trick, I ain't paying shit. And I maintain that. I ain't paying shit. I am not paying you for deciding that you want to cheat and then leave, and I'm paying you.
Wow.
Guess what? I had another thing coming because I got my check, and I saw a negative sign, and I saw 4 digits. I was like, whoa, hold on now.
Hey.
Why do I see 4 digits before the decimal sign? And what's this negative? They didn't care. they went off of what she filled out on the income declaration for me. She filled it out for me and exaggerated what I made. Now, I made pretty good money at the time, but she exaggerated what I made, and they based it off of her exaggeration. And I was like, wait a minute, don't I get a chance to say something? They said, well, you have to fill out an income declaration. I said, I didn't get one. Shouldn't you have to wait to see how much I actually make before you just decide to issue an order? Well, she said you weren't going to pay child support. Did you say that? I mean, shit. I mean, you still could have sent me a form. I would have filled it out.
Delta does not have the radio.
I got destroyed.
Man, that's heavy.
Hey.
When I lost the job, do you think they changed what I owed? Man,
You got to go back in and fight hard just for those reductions, and then they reduce it. You know, if you are successful, they'll reduce it to the equivalent of minimum wage, but they'll never go below that.
Never.
Man.
So if that means, I literally heard a guy, I heard one of these female judges tell one of the dudes, if you got to sleep in your car, you got to do what you got to do to take care of your children. I was like, wait a minute. What about her? What about her?
Hey.
I don't know. The way the world is today, it makes you just want to roll up your penis and then put a lock on it.
Yes, sir. Yep. It ain't even worth taking a chance like that. I'm just being real. I ain't seen nobody worth taking a chance like that. Well, it's gonna go into what you already got, what's already on the street. You got a good title there, brother, because all that stuff for me, that stuff goes up under loyalty, honor, duty. That's the kind of people we need, period. Whether it be men or women. Because of course, it's hard to find good brothers like that, but it's just as hard to find good sisters like that. Especially, it's hard to find people that want to build, period.
Yeah. Taz MD, Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Unless you finna build Disney World or something, then everything is cool. Now, if we finna do some devilment, oh hell, you have jokers running around the block for devilment. They'll be loyal to that.
Yeah.
But you say, hey man, we trying to build a brotherhood. It's gonna be all kind of questions. Not questions like you're inquisitive, but all kind of questioning how you doing it. They did it like this back over at this place and all that other craziness. And when you're looking at women, I'm just gonna be honest. It's hard to find. I'm gonna just keep it how it is. It's hard to find solid people that come from good homes. I'm talking about good homes. I'm talking about where your father is teaching you. You're learning some things from your mother as well. You just got good stock. It's the good stock people is hard to find. And if they wasn't, watch this. There wouldn't be so many single women and single men still running around here BSing around. Let's just be real.
Right.
If everything was made for love and happiness and all that other stuff, then they would really be doing something. They'll be conquering some things.
Yeah. William Jeffries, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Rayleon T. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right, brothers, y'all ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's roll.
I'm going to just ask one question to start this thing off. For those of you brothers who are married, do y'all have a contract or a covenant? And be very careful how you answer this question. Do you have a contract or a covenant. Hey, I took notes for this stream, and then my children got hold of my water. You can't make this up.
It looked legible over here. It looked like some good notes. I can say, brothers, I got some covenants over here now. You know what I mean? I had some covenants. Now I had some covenants over here, but I also had a contract looming around. Well, just like any other business deal, you know, contracts don't work out that well. When people see differently, or they have that, now that's something you ain't even supposed to have. Watch this. In a covenant or in a, you know, you don't even have stuff like that. We seeing differently. Yep. I mean, the cover does not see differently from the person that's actually doing all the covering. Yep. I don't see differently than y'all. I don't look at this word and say, nah, I think we need to change some things over here. We need to increase over there, and then get back with me, y'all, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Never happened.
Brother Daryl, I thank you for being honest. You see, a lot of people say, I have a covenant, brother. And you kind of look at them like, no, you don't. You got a contract. You know you got a contract.
Yes, sir.
You know it. If you and your wife have to haggle, if you have to haggle with your wife, you know, you give her the if-then. You got to, if your wife tells you this, if you serve Yah, then I will submit to you, you have a contract. That's a contract. That's not a covenant.
Hey, if you don't get rid of these, watch this. We done heard this before. If you don't get rid of these bugs and flies, I can't stay here.
You got a contract.
That's contractual.
That's a contract. That's contractual. If you don't give me sex 3 times a week, I'm leaving. Contract.
Yes, sir.
Stipulations.
Stipulation. God, if you look at what y'all did with us, y'all made covenants. That rainbow in the sky. I just found out today was this month was some sort of Pride Month. I had no clue. But it's a Pride Month. I think it's the gay pride, whatever that shit is. But if you look at the rainbow, it was a covenant. Yeah, it wasn't a contract. Y'all was like, listen, as long as y'all don't make me too mad, I won't ever flood the earth again, but maybe I might. We'll see. He said, I will not do this again. I will not destroy the earth by water again. That's a covenant. And he kept his word no matter how angry we made him.
Yes, sir.
When you look at the law of Yah, that's a covenant, not a contract.
That's it.
And in his covenant, he gave both sides. He gave the blessings and the curses. It's not an if-then. It's a blessings and curses. He gave you what if you obey, but if you disobey, he also included in the covenant what would happen to you. And he kept his word. He knew he was putting his name. See, some of y'all men be doing shit like this. If you do that again to me, I'm leaving. Then she does it again, and what do?
Nothing.
Nothing. That means you ain't got no covenant because your integrity is shot. Your word is shot. Your character is shot. She just pulled your card. She just pulled your card. She found out you were selling wolf tickets. That's a contract. That's not even a contract. That's not, but it's not a covenant. We have to understand what the difference between a covenant and this may take more than one stream. But we have to truly understand what the difference between a covenant and a contract is. Here, this may be, brothers and sisters, this may be why Abigail didn't leave Nabal. Because she had an understanding that they had a covenant. and not a contract. She knew she was covenanted to him. If it was a contract, it would have been, if you turn wicked, I'm leaving. That would have been a contract. She said, I am yours, period. No ifs, ands, or buts, no qualms, no, well, if you make this much money, I'll stay. If you serve y'all, I'll stay. Because some of y'all women got that. And you think that's holy. You think you're being righteous by making your husband contract with you. Did y'all make contracts, or did y'all make or did y'all make covenant with us?
Covenants.
Covenant.
So some of y'all men running around, yeah, I have to earn my wife's submission.
What?
And this is why a lot of your so-called pastors have no problem having y'all sign marriage contracts. Because part of that contract is they are able to, whenever they feel like it, intervene into your marriage. That's because you're contracted. They call it contracting. You're contracting out. Literally, that pastor is contracting your wife to you.
Man.
There's no covenant at all. So whenever he feels like it, whenever mama feels like it, daddy feels like it, whenever the wife feels like it, they just mob out or threaten you. If you are in a covenant, there's no need for a threat because everybody has to do their part. No ifs, ands, or buts. None. And in this westernized society, all we have are contracts. Most people are contracted with the state. That's right. Reuben Ingram said, if she is unbelieving and making excuses to leave, let her leave. That means that she was in a contract with you. She was not covenanted with you.
That's true.
Bro, y'all got something?
Nah, that's spot on.
Yeah, that was good, brother.
I gotta find my note, my backup note. It's gonna take me a second. I found some. And here's the thing. I was doing some studying on this, and do you know? And this is the sad part. Once again, traditional westernized Christians have a better concept of covenants and contracts than so-called those of the faith.
And I'd even say heathens do.
When you say that, what do you mean?
When I was doing research on the topic, I always like to see how traditional westernized people understand covenants versus contract.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that they were better able to explain what a contract was versus a covenant? They were able to say, they said most, if not all of Christians are in contracts. Yet, if you were to go and ask people of the faith, all of them will say they have covenants when in fact they just have contracts. Most don't even know what a contract versus a covenant is. They're still bartering with their wife. Talking about they're in a covenant. This is why the women of all, this is why Abraham was able to say, hey, tell them you're my sister. And she said, okay. She didn't say, well, you're going to cause me to commit adultery. I don't know what you're talking about. See, I'm here to serve the Lord. My job's here to serve God. He's my head. And so I'd rather serve y'all more than man. She didn't say all that. She knew what she was. When you're in a covenant, do you know what you're putting up? You're putting up your morality. your integrity, your character, your name, your everything about you. You're putting up at risk for being in a covenant. When you're in a contract, you're not putting anything up. Maybe a penalty if you don't adhere to the rules. You say, till death do us part. That shit don't work out. You're like, well, you know what? I'll just get divorced and I'll pay him a couple, or I'll pay her. Look at how people, when they break a contract, a business contract, what's the penalty?
Depending on the contract, it may only be a little bit of money.
Right.
Pay a fine. Yep. You walk away. And you're able to go do that thing again and again and again and again because you're in contract. If you break a covenant where your word is at risk, if you're a woman, see, this is why we as people, because we don't understand contracts and covenants, a lot of men are willing to take women who committed adultery. You committed adultery on your husband and are still able to find another husband in the faith? Huh? What? You walked out of marriages and are still able to find another husband in the faith? Huh? That's the lack of morality. What was that?
I say your word wouldn't be any good. Because your
word wouldn't be any good.
You done broken a bond.
You broke your covenant. Which goes to show that either you break covenants left and right, or you're a person that makes contracts. He didn't do what I wanted him to do, therefore our contract is null and void. For those who don't know, when you make a covenant with somebody, it's not about what they're doing. It's about what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The covenant's based on you, not them. It's not a matter of, well, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so now our covenant's broken. No, that's a contract.
Yes, sir. 100%.
That's why Abigail stayed with Nabal. Another interesting fact. I don't ever really see covenants went up. I see covenants went down. The downhill thing. Yah made a covenant with his people. Men make covenants with their wives. Jonathan, the son of the king, made a covenant with David because Saul was trying to kill David. So Saul, the son of the king, covenanted down with the guy who was going to be king eventually, but that was still a downhill covenant. Contracts are negotiated.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter.
That's real good. It just made me think about a lot of times when we go into marriage. I mean, because the way we've been trained before we actually start applying the whole Bible, I can honestly say that's how we enter most relationships. Hey, this is what you're gonna be doing, and this is what I'm gonna be doing. You know, it's almost like we come to the table negotiating with the people that we stand with covenant. You know, even before we knew what that was. I'm just saying, if you think about it, I mean, because I can be honest, when me and Keith first got married, I was like, well, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm gonna be doing, and this is what you're gonna be doing. But you get what I mean? The mindset was still there. You know, you bring 100, because I used to tell them, hey, I'm gonna bring 100, I need you to bring 100. But it wasn't so much like, you know, this we talked about being bound for life. And we've been bound for life. But the thing is, to really understand what that is now, because I can say, man, when I was 18 years old, I mean, I met up with you 18 years old. I was just 19. We didn't really know what that was. You know, back then, you just knew, hey, I love this person. We got some children. We're going to rock this thing out. And I would say the thing that probably made us stand when I really look at it, I thank the Most High, but it was more so we had more against us than going forward, whether it was people or whatever it was. But it wasn't you really didn't have a full understanding of covenant. I mean, now we got a full understanding of covenant. So, really, if we think about it as people, once you had a full understanding, be it a man, being the husband or the wife, you should honor that thing. That you should honor it just because it's in you to do, not because you don't want to look bad and all that other crazy stuff that people do. Because some people just be supposedly honoring their covenants or their contract. They honor their contract because they don't want to look bad. You don't want to look bad amongst the brothers or the sisters. No, you should do it because it's in you to do. And I just see an example. I made a covenant with a brother right now. Me and him don't talk that much. But when the thing come to fruition and what we agreed on, shit, we ain't never, I'm like this. I'm the type of guy, I'm just being straight up. I could never talk to a person that I made a covenant with for whatever reason. But I'm going to honor the shit. That's just what it is. If you say, hey, we're going to do this or whatever, I'm going to give you this and you're going to give me that, then that's what it is. And that should be just in us. Whether I see the person, whether the person, maybe they're too busy to talk or whatever the case is. Y'all get what I'm saying? That should just be in us. Not because I'm going to look bad or whatever the case is. So especially when you look at, and I look at that with brothers real strong. I mean, that's why I'm going to be honest. I don't really enter into a lot of agreements with people because you got to know the people. You got to have got to have a sense of who they are.
Right.
Because if that's the case, you just get into a contract and a covenant goes beyond how you feel. That's just being real.
Way beyond that.
Like you just said.
Way beyond that.
How he felt about us. Because the truth of the matter is, if on our best day, and I'm paraphrasing, on our best day, guess what? Our greatest contribution to y'all is as filthy rags. Your best. Whatever you got, you pull out all the stops. Pray in the Holy Spirit until you pass out. It's still to y'all like, hey, what's that?
Yes, sir.
So, that's how I've been. Where since you've been thinking about it, I've been studying on the topic or whatever. And when I think about it, man, brothers, we should want to honor Yah because he already left an example in showing us how to actually live this thing out. When we in marriage, women, and I'm saying women and men alike, they should want to honor Yah even in their marriage, not because it shouldn't be none of this stuff. Oh, I'm hanging in there because we got children. You're not people talking. I'm hanging in there for the children, or I'm hanging in there for this. No, won't you just be an honorable person? Won't you actually exemplify what you say you are in the Most High? How about that?
Like when you look at Yah and his covenant with us, his covenant was so deep that even though he saw us struggling with it, he sent his son to make sure that we had the ability to possibly keep the covenant. He sent his son to live the covenant perfectly and then die for our sins. That's keeping covenant. Most of these people today, they can't keep covenant past their first disappointment. He said he didn't buy me roses for Valentine's Day. He didn't take me out to a nice restaurant. I'm leaving. He don't care about me.
Their covenant is feelings deep.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
There we go.
Which means it's a contract. You are contracted with her feelings. That's all you are. Is contracted with her feelings.
Man.
If she I feel like you don't love me, I'm leaving. Okay, what about the covenant? Well, you don't love me. Like women say this all the time. You don't love me, so I'm leaving. Where in the Bible do you see that a woman can make a claim that you don't love me, so I'm leaving? Where does it even say in the Bible that you can leave if I don't love you?
Nowhere.
It doesn't.
Nowhere. Women, you have no clause to leave. If your husband told you, I don't love you, that doesn't mean you can leave.
That's it.
That don't mean you can leave.
Not only do you not see it, what you do see is exactly to the contrary. It tells you if you do that, you are in sin.
Yep.
Yeah. You didn't.
So even this westernized construct of love has been bastardized to the point where we think marriage is solely based on love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really, they think it's just based on feelings and emotions.
Yes, sir.
That's
100%.
it. That's it.
Because if you love me, you'll keep the covenant.
There we go. There we go.
If you love me, you will keep the covenant. Woo! And Yah says, keep my commandments, which is the covenant.
That's it.
Man. You know, even when you look at Yah's covenant in Deuteronomy 28, I find it really interesting. Yah promises you both sides. He promises you, if you obey me, this is what you get. I'm also covenanting with you this. If you disobey me, this is what you get. So the covenant goes both ways.
Absolutely.
The covenant goes to the blessings and the curses. Imagine going to a woman, you're talking with her, she wants to join your house, you're like, hey, here's my covenant with you. If you obey me, you will be blessed. You will be happy. You will be, you give her, the rundown. But you also tell her this. This is also part of our covenant. If you disobey me, you're sleeping in the van. Every day. Is that not covenant?
It is. It absolutely is. Or you'll be subject to whatever tenets of the covenant that I put in place. Absolutely.
Right. But what she'll do is that when she knows that she don't want to be with you, she'll just leave. Therefore, she's telling you she did not honor the covenant. But see, so what we as men do is that we're comfortable to try and make contracts with women to get them to come into our house. Mm-hmm. We be bargaining with them. Right. She's like, well, I want to go and be a supervisor at Walmart. You're like, well, I'll let you supervise if you come into my house. You can go work at Walmart. Hell no. If that's not I'm not bargaining with you. I'm covenanting with you. I'm telling you what role you're going to play in my house. If you don't like it, do not covenant with me. Period.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's not a prideful thing. That's exactly how it was supposed to be. But suddenly men started bargaining with women and contracting with women, and then contracting with the state. If she leaves, if she takes the children, you're paying her child support. That's part of the contract you didn't read.
Mm. Hey, I heard you say that you didn't even you didn't go for that contractual business about Sister Ebony's car. I heard you weren't going for that.
And for those who don't know, Sister Ebony, when I met her, she had a vehicle that she was paying monthly payments on. Monthly payments on that vehicle. I told her, I have no need for that vehicle. So if you want to come to my house, you got to let it go. What about my credit? Shit, I don't know. What about your credit?
Woo! Hey, you would have lost 100 women fell off the earth on that alone.
And honestly, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for her to be like, you just trying to keep me trapped up. You just want to keep me under you. Women be saying that. You don't want me to be able to go nowhere. What if you decide you want to beat me? I'm going to have to know how to go somewhere. I need to be able to run. I'm like, shit, you are making this contract. You're trying to get married already formulating the out clauses.
Yes, sir.
You want to make sure that your out clauses are already stipulated so that you can run if you need to.
Yeah. Hey, most women would have
So
said
that's the
their credit was more valuable than their
yep.
destiny on this earth to be covered by a righteous man. My credit more important than that,
Yep.
child. You know how they talk. I gotta have something
Yep.
just in case it don't work out.
T. Water said, why does she have to stay with us when she can easily get her a man that will respect her wishes, her gifts, and give her romance? Right. A contract. That's right, brother. When she looks at the covenant and the contract, she's going to go for the contract, which is why a lot of women today actually carry themselves, actually a lot of men too, they actually carry that whoremongerous spirit. Which is everything's temporary.
It's all relative.
Go ahead. Explain that, Brother David.
It's all relative, meaning we'll stick to it until we won't. We all have our ticking point or whatever. And that is very much so a contractual mindset.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That's a contract. In fact, I want to read this. I got this from, sadly enough, I got this from a Christian website. Check this out. With a contract, if one agreeing party does something in violation of the contract, then it is considered broken. The whole contract becomes null and void. Basically, the signers of a contract agree to hold up their ends as long as the other signatories hold up theirs also. With a covenant, both parties agree to hold up their ends regardless of whether the other party keeps their part of the agreement.
Yes, sir.
A violation of a covenant by one party doesn't matter as far as the other party's responsibility to continue to do what they agreed to do. That's a covenant. So if I covenant with the sisters, see, and this will help y'all bring an understanding when Yeshua said in Matthew 19:8, Moses allowed y'all a divorce because of the hardness of your heart. Think about that now. The reason why you were allowed to divorce was because of the hardness that is in you. That's why. Because you don't keep your covenants.
And that hardness is your willingness to walk contrary to y'all's law.
Yep. That's right. And because you walk contrary to y'all's law, hey, you break the law. You know, it's interesting. Whenever somebody breaks the law, Yah never really even has to get you out of there. That person leaves by themselves. You notice that?
Yes, sir.
This is true.
A woman, what happened to me? I got cheated on, and then she left me. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even get a say in this? Now, I would have said get out, but shit, I had that taken away from me. I couldn't even say get out. That's because of the wickedness that's inside of them. They see it as a contract. I'll do my part as a wife as long as you ... As long as you... And see, a lot of these churches present things and they keep giving these clauses in the marriage, which makes it a contract. They'll say things like, if he's not paying the bills, you can leave. Where do you see that at? I'm just asking the question. Show me in the Bible. And I'm not trying to hear that. Well, if a man doesn't... No, I'm not trying to hear all that. Where does it say in the Bible that if he doesn't pay the bills, you can leave?
And the sad part, brother, what I was saying earlier is when you were talking about the Christians understanding it more than, so-called people in the faith. And I was saying, yeah, and even heathens understand it more than Christians. If you think about it, hey, what was the first covenant that you can remember, really rocking with and holding strong to? When you want to talk about gangs, biker gangs, whatever kind it is, hey, that's covenant for real, for real.
That's covenant. To death. You mess with one of our brothers in our gang, we're gonna get you.
And if you trying to get out and it's real, hey, yeah. So they understand.
The only way to get out is death.
Right.
That's real covenant. That's real covenant. I mean, in these sets, and these gangs, and these cliques, and these clubs, and these groups, you mess with one of them, because they're in covenant, they all coming after you.
Yes, sir. And the strength of
if you go to jail, exactly. So people don't understand covenant. They see contracts as covenants. When a covenant is a covenant. When Yah created man and woman, he covenanted them together, so much so that they were to be one flesh.
There it is.
That's not a contract. How many of you brothers have made a contract with your penis? How many of you brothers made a contract with your hand? No, it's part of your body. It's covenant. It's part of you. This is one of the downfalls of marriage, especially amongst us in this faith, is that we keep trying to do the exact same thing that the world does.
Yes, sir.
And we expect. I mean, I was doing some research, and here's something I found out. Do you know that in a lot of these satanic groups, they have covenants? Like real life covenants. Like if you leave us, you're going to be cursed to death, basically. And I was like, damn. So everybody understands a covenant, but when it comes to us, we still dibble-dabbling with contracts.
Because we might get
crazy.
Hurt.
Right. That's exactly it. I might get hurt, if I covenant with this person, so I'm not going to do it. I just have a contract.
Hey, we be on that grace and mercy train too. We had them addendums. Those grace and mercy addendums.
Brother, I was just about to say that.
And
it's hard to even understand sin if you don't understand covenant to contract.
Yes, sir.
If you covenanted with Yah, sin is not something that you just do when mercy and grace just overtakes you. Your integrity, your morality, your character, everything about you is in jeopardy when you sin. Your name.
Life.
Your life is in jeopardy. Man. This is why you got to be careful. If you a man and you say, I'm covenanted with Yah, are you sure? Are you sure you really want that covenant? Because what you're basically saying then is, if you sin, you might as well just go to the last section of Deuteronomy 28, start reading that, and expect that.
Yes, sir.
Because it's part of the covenant. Don't run out and, Father, holy little Boko Shia, I feel the Spirit's on me. You're going to forgive me of my sin. No. David realized that he was covenanted with Yah when he took Bathsheba. So when Yah said, I'm killing your child, David said, please, if you have mercy, please don't. When that child died, David got up, cleaned himself off, and worshiped Yah. He knew he was in covenant.
Yes, sir.
That's a whole different mindset. When people sin today, do you really say, you know what, Yah, if whatever happens to me that I get, I deserve it? And when it comes, when that punishment comes on you, do you say, "Thank you, Father, for honoring your covenant"?
Nope, ain't no worship going on with that. Supposed to be running from that stuff.
That's when you run to your pastor and say, "I need deliverance."
Yep, blaming the devil. Forgot they was even in covenant.
Yep. That was part of the covenant. You blaming Satan, speaking in tongues, running to your pastor and, "Pastor, give me deliverance. Deliver me. Cast out that demon. I repent." Nah. You have to understand you're in covenant. And the last part of Deuteronomy 28 is part of the covenant. The curses are part of the covenant.
Yes, sir.
Not just the blessing. The curses are as well. Man.
It's some good stuff.
And you know that people be bullshitting because they'll say, till death do us part.
They already know that's.
But here's what. Hey, but I'm gonna be real with you. When I hear that thing, when I hear "till death do us part," and then the woman decides, and she's like, "This is a covenant," and she decides to leave, hey, we're covenanted. So that means that spiritually you just died. Right? You said "till death do us part."
Man.
You said it. And now you want to end it and go your way? Going completely contrary to everything the book says? That's letting me know that somebody's spirit may have just died.
Woo. Hey. Which honestly, I mean, I think that's spot on because that's really that's the nail on the head right there. That's what it equivocates for them to then just take off anyway. You can call it whatever you want. They can go shout and worship and do all this other stuff till their body dies, but they dead.
Yes, sir.
They dead.
They're done.
Because didn't you do that thing before y'all? Didn't we already have a study talking about keeping your vows? And even if you want to break it, y'all still requiring that vow. So here you are till death do us part. You're crying with your white dress and you know your dress should be black because you're a hoe. But you want to sit there and say, "Till death do us part." Oh my gosh, I'm getting married. You take the pictures, you eat the cake, you know, all the theatrics. Then when the first problem comes, second problem comes, you done? What happened to death do us part? What happened to your word? And since I'm not departing from you, it must mean that you died.
I bet you this gives some
Y'all
attention.
better be careful with your words. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
I bet you this getting some attention to some of these people that say, "Oh, my husband, he's not in the faith. Can I leave?" Nope.
Nope. Did y'all make a covenant? Because if it's just a contract, then why don't you let him know that? Go to your husband if it's just a contract and tell him, "Hey, you know the only reason why I'm with you is because you're doing what I want, right? The moment you stop doing what I want is the moment I'm gonna consider leaving." There's your contract.
I'll stay as long as.
I had somebody try to pull that with me. I'll come back if. No, keep your ass out there. There ain't no if. Keep your ass over there. I'm good.
Sorry, I had to pause for a temporary mukbang. Mukbang.
You have to understand the difference between a covenant and a contract, especially in regards to your marriage. That may be something you have to sit down with your wife and discuss with her. Ask her, hey, and this is an interesting question, brothers. Ask your wife this. What would I have to do to get you to leave me? Ask her that.
Man.
And if she pulls out a list, you know you got a contract.
Woo.
I'm just saying. Because when you look at the book, wouldn't you say that Abraham gave Sarah every reason to leave?
I'm sure of it.
Like, hey, go to that town and when you're not fully lying, just tell them that you're my sister and not my wife. Knowing that adultery could come from that. She knew that. I would submit that she had a better understanding of marriage than he did. I mean, than we do today.
Yes, sir.
She understood what marriage was about. She understood, hey, I'm supposed to do whatever my husband asks of me.
Did you say whatever? Hold on, did you say whatever?
Whatever my husband asks of me.
Whatever.
Whatever my husband asks of me.
Without question.
Whatever my husband asks of me without question.
Without fail.
Whatever my husband asks of me without question and without fail.
What about if it's a servant? Huh? What about if it's your servant? Male servant or female servant? You mean they under obligation?
Rebecca Harris made a great point. Yes, but who wants to have a husband that doesn't provide and pay bills for his household? That's a bit harsh. Well, I would say this. That's why the woman should have that man vetted.
Right. Don't contract with such a man. Don't get in a covenant with him.
Don't get in a covenant with him.
There we go.
Just don't. You may want to check to make sure that he's living what he says he's living. Right. Because you shouldn't just wander in to a man in a covenant and then say, well, you're not paying your bills, I'm out. Because he probably wasn't paying his bills before you.
Yep, that's the thing.
Probably wouldn't have been wise to covenant with homeless Jacob.
Woo-wee! Man, that's thunder and lightning coming up from over there.
Right. Because sometimes, I'm not talking about you, Sister Rebecca. I'm not talking about you. But we ran across this a lot where women be acting like men just pulled the most absolute flim flam on them ever.
No, they know.
And I'm like, no, he didn't. Stop. No, he didn't.
Yep.
This dude was riding dirty already. You just did not want to vet him because you got some feeling inside of you because he made you feel special.
That's it.
He made you feel good. He complimented you. He said something that you wanted to hear, and you put away all that caution, all that testing, all that vetting that you should have did. You put all that off to the side because he made you feel good. Then after he was done hitting it, he asked you, can he borrow your car?
Or some money.
Or some money. Or can you pay his cell phone bill? Or can you pay his rent? Or could you keep his lights on? Or some shit like that. Then suddenly, you feel like you were bamboozled. Nah.
Nope. That was the feeling down in the short pants. That was the feeling. He tickled your fancy, and that was the feeling right there.
That was the feeling. You should have went checked that brother out, had some men check that brother out, invited him to a feast day to be around brothers that you know are walking this thing out, that live in this book. How are you gonna let him convince you to have a private Passover, you and him, in his apartment?
Some of these sisters will benefit just from buying a good pair of glasses. If he's sitting outside in a cardboard box, I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just saying. I have never heard of women giving their phone numbers to homeless dudes. That is crazy.
Well, hey, heard of it now.
Walmart might,
and that's real.
Over there, if you go to the Walmart Eye Care Center, that might save your life. Get you a good pair of glasses.
Optometry.
Man.
So if the man doesn't provide and pay the bills, there are probably signs before.
But once you enter that covenant.
Right. Once you're in that covenant, it's over.
Woo.
And you can convince yourself, hey, I can leave. You can convince yourself whatever. I can literally convince myself that I am Joe Biden. Everybody else would know I'm not, but I can convince myself that I am. This is why marriage has been played down to this level where it means nothing. Marriage is just glorified dating.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to get married. I'm going to make a covenant with this man. I'm going to do it before y'all. And then when he doesn't do something, I'm out. If I don't like the way he's living, I'm out.
Contracts.
Yes, sir.
Contract. So at that point, you might as well have just made a contract as a servant. Hey, I'll be with you for 3 years. After those 3 years, we will reevaluate where we are. And just maintain that. Don't say till death do us part then. Don't say it. If that's really what what a lot of your women are concerned about, what if he tricks me? Then don't say till death do us part. Be honest, let them know, hey, I'll be part of your house for the next 2 years. I'll serve you. You'll have access to me. Any child that we have is going to be your child because you are the seed giver. And I'll be here for 2 years. And after that, we will reevaluate where we are. I still say no.
That sounds terrible.
That does sound terrible. But you know, that's what a lot of these women are. That's what a lot of these women are basically saying. What if he's this? What if he's not a good this? Well, then you can't have it both ways. Choose one way. Do you want to be held accountable to your decision in a covenant, or do you want a contract? T. Water said, most women in this walk leave the faith and become a Muslim and get remarried until that relationship fails. Man. I mean, does the Bible say that a wife is supposed to submit to her husband and everything?
Yes, sir.
Do we see examples of that in the Bible?
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to figure out where women get this idea that I only have to submit if he serves Yah. If he's perfect, I'll obey him. If he's perfect.
I have a question, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And I've been pondering about this a little bit. If you get a woman, you bring her in, as a servant. I'm just going to use it as a servant. I didn't see any clauses in there that said that she could ever leave. I didn't see the first one. And they can't come to you with that. Well, I should be able to serve him for 7 years. That's for Hebrew males. That's for, watch this now, that's for Hebrew males. So really, when you look at it, I don't even know where this train of thought come from. That's the thing I've been looking at. I'm like, you know what? It's funny. People leave marriages quick. Supposedly, and they want to say, you know, no woman wants to be a servant, remember? They all want to be concubines and wives and queens and everything else. But not even a servant. Watch this. A female servant could not leave.
Unless you knock her tooth out.
Unless you knock her tooth out.
Or blacken one of them eyes or do some old, you know, something like that. But you're treating them well. You're loving on them. You know, you treat them like they're supposed to be treated. Like you. They couldn't just take off and run. I don't like it here.
And
I'm out.
I would caveat that it's not even if you're treating them well. And I can say that because it says even to the froward. So, you know, you could be froward does not equivocate abuse. You can be harsh or froward, but not abusive.
Yes, sir.
You know, if you're knocking someone's tooth out, all right, you let them go.
Yes,
but
sir.
If you're just speaking more harshly, or, you know, if you're a froward master, that froward master still has servants.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm not advocating being froward. I'm just saying even that's not a breaking of the covenant in the same way as busting the tooth would be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Well, I just thought I'd ask that because you know how we do. It's just wild how, like I say, the women want to be elevated. I don't want to come in as a servant. I don't want to come in as a handmaid. I'm much better than that. Well, hold on a second. Didn't you say you was leaving because you didn't like the way I spoke yesterday? Oh, my bad. I forgot. I forgot to say good morning the other day. And you mad. So you leaving. You're going back home where there's peace at. And that just shouldn't be. And I think it's funny because what y'all point out earlier about, it's sad that the outside world actually lives this. We don't. But we claim that we're children of Yah, children of the Most High, Torah keeper, believers of the book. What kind of example?
To be honest, what you're saying is dead on, because I see more people in this faith. I see men and women. I see a lot of women do the best that they can to try and explain away what the Bible says. And yet, heathen women will say the reason why I don't believe the Bible or the reason why I won't come to the faith is because I won't do that. I'm not going to be that sort of woman. I actually have respect for that sort of woman. I respect her for being able to say, I ain't going to obey what the book says, so I'm just not going to pretend like I am in the faith. That's a lot better than these women who say, I'm in the faith, and you explain something to them, you show them in the book, I don't believe it. I'm going to the pastor and ask him. But aren't you supposed to be my woman?
Yes, sir.
Well, you can't go to nobody else. You're supposed to be asking me. See, the reason why you don't want me to go ask nobody is because you don't want to be proven wrong. What?
Man.
Like, where is this tomfoolery? I had a brother send me a message about that. He was trying to correct his wife, and he gave me permission to say it. He was trying to correct his wife on something that the book said. She didn't like it. So she said, I'm going to go call pastor.
Woo.
And he said, I'm the teacher of this house. And she said, the reason why you don't want me to confront pastor is because you're afraid that pastor's going to blast you out or something like that and prove you wrong.
Wow.
He said, the reason why you ain't going to pastor is because I'm the teacher of my house. I'm the teacher. Meanwhile, he asked me, and guess what? Exactly what he thought was right. But she wanted to go to a teacher that she knew saw it her way.
Yep, that's the games they play.
That's the game. That lets you know you have a contract and not a covenant. I'm just saying. If you understood what a covenant was, sisters, if you read Numbers 30, or the Numbers 30 or Numbers 5?
Numbers 30.
Numbers 30. If you read Numbers 30 and you understood covenant, you would make sure, shit, before I make any vow, let me go to my husband.
Yes, sir.
Anybody. If you understood covenant, if you understood possession, you remember, Yah made a covenant with us. We are his possession.
Yes, sir.
If you understood that, you wouldn't be so quick to run out and jump on the phone and call your best friend.
Yep.
Call your so-called sister, your so-called elder. First of all, it's not your elder.
Yes,
Shut
sir.
the hell up with all that shit.
Yes, sir. There you go.
It's not your elder.
Hey, if they really understood covenant, they would even understand we're not under, like, if you having you taking on a new wife or whatever the case is, you're not under obligation to honor some stuff that she did in her past. Nope. Not here. Just like what you said about Sister Ebony in the car situation. Hey, that was your little red wagon. But if you want to be over here and in covenant with me, this is what's going down. Not that. That was you. That was you on your own.
And let me tell y'all something about Sister Ebony. I had no back talk, no lip, no nothing about it. She dropped that car off like it was a hot potato.
Like she stole it.
That shit, like she was returning it. She had no talk back. I mean, when I said it, I was bracing, like, you know how when you say something, you're like, I know she's gonna say something, and I already got my verses lined up. I'm ready. Go ahead and say it, Ebony. I know what you're gonna say. She said, okay. So how do I do it? Do I call them and let them know that I don't want the car? Come pick it up, or let them know where to leave it? I was like, I got a handful of notes of verses that I was about to pull out, and I ain't got to use them? Damn. Just like that. That's if you understood covenant, sisters.
That's what's up. How do I do it? That's when you know somebody is in line for your home. How do I get out of this? Or how do I navigate, my way? Basically, what they're asking is, how do I navigate my way to you?
That was
how
it.
do I find my way to you? Teach me. Show me.
Man.
And something rare, she was, you know how you talk to women sometimes, you're like, let's say you're getting serious or whatever it is about her joining your house or whatever. And she like, I have 10,000 things that I have to accomplish before I can do this.
Nope.
I'm like, 10,000?
Not unless you can move in my time frame.
Yes, sir.
My time. The door's open for this long. If you're not here by the time that door closes, it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Bless you.
Man, brothers.
Bless you.
That's good stuff.
T. Water said, like Esther, Hadassah, just like Esther. How do you think you sisters how do you think Esther got a heathen king to offer her half the kingdom?
Man.
That's crazy.
Well, she probably told him, well, I'm going to need this. I already got something going on over here. I got arrangements over here, arrangements over there. So I'm going to need you to do this and that and the third. Not so. I'm pretty sure she ain't come to him with a bunch of drama. Or a made up mind to do whatever the hell she want to do. And you just got to agree to it.
Like Vashti made sure she made Ahasuerus know it was a contract. And he said, shit, if it's a contract, get your ass out the kingdom.
Yep.
I mean, his wise men came to him and said, hey, we got to do something about this trick because all of our wives heard her. All of our wives will be influenced. You're going to lose your kingdom to a bunch of women who saw what Vashti did. You will lose the kingdom, king.
Yep.
And the king said, what do I do? And they said, get her out and find someone better.
Hey, could you imagine
I'm just being real. Go ahead, brother.
Could you imagine telling your wife today, hey, come here. I want to show you all to my brothers. Come here and dance in front of these brothers.
Yep, dang.
Boy, how much of these Israelite women to be with a mouthful of Bible for you?
Yes, sir. Hey, they'll tell you how low down and wicked and filthy you are, and how you ain't a man. You ain't a righteous man. You ain't a righteous man to have them parading around. They're acting fool.
And no, we're not saying we would ever do anything like that. But we are saying, look at how Esther acted. Look at how Ahasuerus acted.
Correct.
That's the point. The point is the king got rid of Esther. Got rid of Vashti for not doing what he said. And let's be real. Some of y'all sisters, y'all done twerked on every penis dating back to 1936. Stop it. Some of y'all are still secretly twerking on penises.
Yes, sir.
Stop.
Yep. This super holy routine. I'm too holy. I'm too holy to be doing all that, master.
Right, but then they got a contract.
Yes, sir.
And free baby daddy.
Right.
Man.
See, I just don't hear that shit. And nor am I that type of person that tries to influence y'all. That because you came to the faith, you're just pure and shiny, and you just are a renewed virgin, and you're just as what? No, because see, I know my work. I know I can't come in and act like my sons. My sons, who are going to be raised in this faith from birth, are going to be better than me. I don't even try to pretend like I'm better than them.
Yes, sir.
They're going to be better than me because they were raised in it. I have been in this faith for 11 years. They're going to be raised from birth. I can already see them and my daughters. They understand things that I didn't understand until I was in my 30s. Well, I am in my 30s. Until this last decade. My daughters know, if I talk to them, my daughters know how to be quiet when I'm talking to them. If they're talking and I start talking, they don't look at me like, why are you cutting in? You need to respect me. I was talking first. They don't say that. If I start talking when they're talking, they'll be quiet. Such foreign concepts today. Women want respect like men do. Huh? Huh? Suma said, Shalom, Sister Suma. She said, Ruth humbled herself at Boaz, Master Boaz's feet. Hadassah Esther prepared herself for many months before she brought before her king. That means these women got themselves ready before they just walked up to any man. The same way the Bible says that we're supposed to, when we approach Yah, you don't approach Yah in your filth and your bullshit. You need to clean yourself up. I'm just gonna go sashaying into the temple. with my wife's menstrual pad on my shoulder and my penis hanging out. Just all filthy, defiled, and unclean. And you think y'all's gonna accept you that way? That's what that Christianity bullshit's taught y'all. Just come to y'all as you are, huh? Just he accepts everybody.
Not really.
No, he doesn't. Some of y'all watch that story about the thief on the tree, and some of y'all think that's you. I'm gonna send my whole life away. Then the last second, I'm gonna say, Jeebus.
I'm ready now.
Jeebus, when you go, please save a place for me.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all need to cut out with that bullshit. You're not the thief. You don't have his faith. Stop taking one story, one off the wall. So just like I said, everybody's Deborah. Everybody is Deborah. And every sister who has a big ass mouth and won't shut the hell up is Deborah. Anytime a woman wants to usurp authority over her husband, she's Deborah.
Nope. Jezebel.
Jezebel. I'm a queen. I'm like Deborah. I'm like Judith. She led Israel. Trick, you can't even leave your house.
Right. Lead them children. How about that?
Right.
Start there.
How about lead yourself to keep your legs closed?
Oh man.
Mouth shut.
Yes, sir.
Keep your mouth shut. How about this?
Yes,
if you keep your two sets of lips closed, you'll be all right.
That's true.
You would have men literally tracking you down if you kept your two sets of lips closed.
Yes, sir.
You'd be a virgin and you would not have defiled yourself with your mouth.
Oh man.
You'd be all right. Then when Jehu come through, because everybody thinks that it was Elijah. It wasn't Elijah. It was Jehu. Jehu was writing furiously. Jehu's the one that told the servants, the eunuchs, hey, toss her ass down. Jehu when Jehu was coming in, Jezebel's men was like, ask him, is he coming for peace? And Jehu said, how can there be peace as long as Jezebel is up there? There can be no peace.
Hey, I was checking out what T. Warder said. That's contractual. He said when they get married, they choose when to close which set. I guess he means which set and when. Meaning set of lips. And that's
what set of lips.
If they're acting
that's a
like
contract.
That, right, because then they're not even honoring, you having possession of them. Man.
Because in order to make a covenant, you must know where you stand.
Yes, sir.
When you are contracting, I'm trying to convince you that my worth is higher than what it is.
Woo!
I'm trying to get you to sign off on things that I don't deserve.
Yes, sir.
If it's a covenant, I'm coming in and Yahshua or Yah's coming to me and saying, hey, here are the terms. Accept it or not. I accept it. I don't get to say, well, Yah, why does it say here that you're going to curse the work of my hands and I'm going to be the tail and not the head? Can you take that clause out, Father, please? Can you take that one out and just adjust it a little bit so that I have more leeway? No. He makes the covenant with us.
That's it.
Man, you got to start realizing you covenant with her. You lay out the terms. And you know what? And as part of your covenant with Yah, you know that in having a wife, there are certain covenantal terms you have to meet. But that's because you're obeying the Father, not because you're obeying her.
Right.
So when it says you are to provide food, clothing, conjugal rights, you're not doing that for her. You're doing that in your covenant to the Father. Now, you may want to do it. You may love her and want to give her the best. That's absolutely fine. But that's not part of the covenant. You don't have to buy her a Prada bag. You don't have to take her out to eat once a week. That's your decision. Yah doesn't have to do anything for me outside of what he says. That would be his choice. Because there's somebody called the covenantor and the covenantee. The contractor and the contractee. There's the one that brings forth the covenant, and then there's the one that agrees to the covenant.
Yes, sir.
If we don't understand that, we can't even understand grace.
Right. Man.
If
Explain that, brother.
If you think that everything is owed to you, then where is there room for grace? Where is there room for you to get something that was not, that you were not worthy of receiving?
You said a word there. You said owed. And that's big, brother, especially in the terms of marriage. Because a lot of women believe they are owed certain things.
That's right.
You owe me sex. Where? You owe me this. You owe me that. Now, am I saying that a man shouldn't do it? No. But that's his prerogative, not her prerogative to dictate when it should be done, because at the point that she is dictating and feels comfortable dictating, she's letting you know either she don't give a shit about the covenant, or she's letting you know in reality, y'all have a contract.
Yep.
And she's about to nullify that contract if you do it for another week or another month.
Yep.
And she's about to be gone. So when you sisters call yourselves daughters of Sarah, you better take into consideration, what does that mean?
Lying.
Yeah, Brother David said, y'all lying.
9 times out of 10, I would just say that's just straight up what it is.
I agree. When you say you're a daughter of Sarah, if your husband said, hey, I'm a little bit scared, that king may look at you and say, you fine. Tell the king, you're my sister, so I can save my life. If you're a daughter of Sarah, you'd be like, okay. Are you sure you're a daughter of Sarah? She obeyed without fear? Are you sure? See, the problem is that the reason why I said this before, the reason why a lot of y'all can't do that is because you know you got all this secret sin. And if you did that, y'all wouldn't come to your rescue.
Man, that's so
y'all
true.
would not save you. That's why a lot of y'all rebel against your husband, because you actually know y'all's not going to save your ass like you think he is. You've got to be real with yourself. Men, you got to be real with yourself. Some of y'all making covenants and you have no intent on keeping.
Hey.
None. You have no intent on caring for your wife. You have no intent in giving your life for hers. You have no intent on nourishing her and cherishing her. See, you have to understand there's a perfect balance. We talk a certain way we do, but we also understand we are to nourish and cherish our wives. Do y'all cherish your wives?
Yes, sir.
I can tell you for a fact they do. For a 100% fact, they cherish their wives. I cherish mine. But women have to understand that while we cherish you, cherishing doesn't mean you get to dictate what cherishing looks like.
Right.
Nope.
Most of y'all don't even understand you're being cherished. You just don't receive it because he's not cherishing you like that nigga Pookie and that nigga Ray Ray, or Brad and Tom, or Jesus, and you're comparing the two men's cherishing. Well, you ain't taking me out. You're damn right I did. Bro, Dad, you gonna say something?
We're not worshiping them.
That's it.
That's it, man. Man. Because I know for a fact, I mean, Brother David's building something for his wives, so his wives won't have to be out in the heat as they perform certain duties for his homestead.
Yep. Or cold or rain or any of that stuff. Man.
They will be completely comfortable while they perform their duties. This week, I spent several days making something so that the sisters would be more comfortable here on the rock. Brother Andres doing things to make sure that the sisters are comfortable on Shalom.
Yes, sir.
Now, we don't have to do them.
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't make us less of a husband if we didn't do it.
Nope.
We just love the idea that they're going to be comfortable, that they are going to enjoy it, that they're going to be appreciative. And you know what? If that means that I have to put one of my other chores or other things that I was going to do off for a week or two, and I may have to bust my ass a little bit more to take care of that later on, so be it if it means that they are comfortable and happy. I want my wives happy. So don't get this twisted like we don't want them happy.
Yes, sir.
I love it when I see them smiling. I love it when I love that. But don't get it twisted.
No.
It's my vision.
Yes, sir. You just want to preserve their life.
There you go. It's something that I choose to do, not something that I have to do.
That's right. Mm.
And women tend to think that sometimes, a lot of times, you have to do it. I don't have to do it.
No.
That's my choice. Why are you laughing, Brother David? I can't hear you. Brother Andre, can you hear him?
I can't hear him. It looked like he got on mute, but it's unmuted now.
Get out of the room and come back in.
Now, I know that everything you do there, brother, because you're doing a lot of stuff in there. I mean, you just shot us some pictures or videos. I know you do it because you preserving your family and you like to see them smile. You like to do that, the extras to make them comfortable, because they are hard. Y'all are hardworking family. Your wives and children and yourself, y'all hardworking family. So I know when you're doing the extras, or when I ain't gonna say it's even extras. Sometimes I just feel like this. You're probably doing something that was already a part of your vision. It just happens over a course of time. Most of the time in my world, it's not only when I have time, but also when I have a certain amount of finances to facilitate that new building this, or or buying whatever you're doing.
Yes, sir.
But you're back, Brother David.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, that's
no,
right.
I was just saying a minute ago when we was talking about what we have to do. I said, yeah, I remember the old saying, and I use it sometimes. Hey, the only thing I have to do is stay black and die. That's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the way we've been working this late spring, we about to be black.
Right.
Yes, sir.
When late fall comes.
And I already got a good head start. But
on your phone, Mustang?
Oh man, yeah.
If I get any darker, I'm gonna blend in with the background.
Yes, sir. Yep. I have to have a spotlight in here so y'all can see me or make sure I'm smiling.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, T. Morris?
I don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Nah, some people really like chocolate. They reach for theirs.
It ain't nothing wrong with it.
Nah, it ain't nothing wrong with it, my brother.
I'm encouraging them. Reach for it. Grab that chocolate. Don't let up. Keep pressing. Keep pressing till you get it.
Yes, sir.
Get yourself some chocolate. Oh, y'all see, Ebony had to come get herself some chocolate. And with that note, brothers, I'll see y'all later. Y'all got the stream. Ebony wants some chocolate, so you know.
Oh, man.
T. Water said, no true nourishment here, no true love, but it's comfortable and familiar. That's a contract.
That's right.
That's what a contract will eventually lead to. You'll stay because it's comfortable. When it's a covenant, man. And here's the thing, when you understand that it's a covenant, you see it differently. You don't see your life unless the person just goes wild way out. You know, adultery, but you don't really look at your life and view your life without them. At all. Yes, every time, everything that I do, I view them as part of it.
Yes, sir. There you go.
In everything. I view them, so when I'm out there gardening, literally, I'm not thinking about how, you know, me or I'm thinking about the next part of my vision and making sure that there's always that accommodation. There's always that I have to have extra because I want them comfortable. Now, it don't mean I'm gonna kill myself to get it. If I can do it, if it's reasonable and within an appropriate time frame, I'll do it.
That's it.
Jay Moore said, I ain't gonna lie, as a young man, I was under the impression that a man had to follow the woman's wishes in marriage. Then wonder why married men are miserable. Man. To be honest, this society has stripped away not just the meaning of covenant, but it stripped away the importance of covenant amongst men.
Yes, sir.
So we don't even know what a covenant is anymore in marriage. Therefore, you can never really adequately be a good brother either.
That's it. Because brothers have covenants too. That actually is the strength of brotherhood, is a covenant.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
I ain't talking about no organization. I'm just talking about brothers walking in covenant.
Yes, sir.
It's a big deal. Brothers walking in covenant. Not brothers walking in contract, but not brothers, hey, we brothers, we cool. Because, you know, a lot of these people use the word covenant, but they really ain't in covenant with each other.
That's right.
They really ain't in covenant. When you think about, you know, a covenant, again, your integrity, your moral. You see, when you have a contract, if you break the contract, there's never a hit on your morality. When you break your covenant, people are going to look at you wrong. People are not going to want to deal with you because you're a covenant breaker. I hope you understand that. If you're just breaking contracts, nobody cares really.
Right.
But because most people have broken nearly all of their contracts. How many times did you say when you have a contract, like a credit card bill, how many times did you not pay it on time? If you did it one time, you broke your contract. And they now have the ability to cancel your card at any given time. A lot of these apartment complexes, if you miss rent on time one time, they legally, they contractually can't start the eviction process. That's contract. Not a covenant.
We got to tighten up.
We do.
Quick.
Absolutely.
I mean, like Brother David just said, the brotherhood depends on it. Our marriages depend on it. Our children, look at that. Our children, how they operate by coming behind us. They're going to need to actually see this working. You know, they're going to have to see brothers in covenant. They're going to have to see, a father and a mother, or husband and wife, should I say, bound together. Without excuses. I'm leaving. I don't like the way he talked to me. Or she didn't make my grits right, or whatever the case is. I mean, go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, brother. I apologize.
All that I was gonna say is, I guess the things that stick with me is duty, honor, and loyalty.
Man.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say, covenant is bigger than ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Generational.
You mentioned the word duty. Does the Bible not clearly specify the duty of wives to husbands, brothers to brothers?
Yes, sir.
And even men to wives?
Yes, sir.
You brothers, you can't honor your covenant with Yah if you do not fulfill what he said you ought to do as a husband. So I'm not trying to hear that shit of, I keep the Torah, but your wife is jacked up.
He won't even be hearing you.
He ain't hearing you. You ain't fulfilling what you're supposed to be doing as a husband to your wife or wives, and yet you running around with fringes on. You just lying.
And I want to clarify something on that point too. That's not simply talking about if you find yourself on the forward side. That's equally talking about if you're overly abundantly on the opposite side, just being ran over. He ain't hearing you because you're not fulfilling your role as a husband. You're not being a husband to that which he has given you. You are not representing his picture correctly, or being a proper ambassador of him if you're just being ran over, or you're just operating in this contractual relationship.
Yes, sir.
That's role reversal, and just, it's just satanic is what I'll call it.
So are you saying if your wife is just running the show, Yah's not pleased the same way he would not be pleased if she was rebelling?
Absolutely, because I know if I'm just wayward to Yah, we know what the book says about that. I think it would be asinine for me to expect him to hear me and move on my behalf when I'm just running rogue to his commandments. And it's the same way for us with those under our care, those in our house, in whichever capacity they may be in.
Yes.
That's your rib, that's your servants, that's your children, whoever it is. If we're not ruling our household well, it's both sides of that pendulum.
That's an important. That's very important. What you said, because a lot of men think they're good husbands because their wife run the show.
Being nice can send you straight to hell. It ain't about niceties.
Yes, sir.
It's about righteousness.
Yeah.
Yep, and she ain't gonna be happy. I was gonna say she ain't gonna be happy all the time, so you can get that out of your mind. And I'm just saying what going along with what y'all are saying in the sense of even men have to get that ideal of I'm a good husband only if my wife is happy about every decision made, happy about every correction that I have made in regards to her. Hey, you know what I mean? When you're correcting your wife, you're teaching and training and nurturing. They're not gonna be happy about that all the time. Matter of fact, I haven't met too many people that's in love with you correcting them. They just fall in love with that. So that doesn't I get it, bro. That doesn't quantify you as a good husband because everybody in the house is smiling all the time. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Or they overly jubilant. That doesn't mean you're doing a good job as a husband.
But that's what society says. Everybody's smiling, so they must be doing something right. Nah. Because in my relationship with the Father, let me tell y'all, there are quite some times that I'm just not smiling.
Yes, sir.
No,
it's not
exactly.
Because you feel like it.
Mm-mm.
I'm just not smiling. I'm not sitting there like,
No,
how you doing, Brother Chris? God is good.
No, everything he tell you is not always pleasing to you. Think about everything y'all have ever told you, or when you read his instructions, everything haven't been pleasing or whatever. You know it was good for you, but it wasn't always right up front. Everything that I read in the book, oh man, I love that. Give me a big dose of that. No, you know how we thought, or how we thought as men in earlier years, and you know how men think now. Men think, well, unless your wife is smiling from ear to ear, or you doing everything they want to do, or you make your place a big amusement park, then everybody gonna be happy. Not so.
That's why sometimes when people be watching the videos that when I have the sisters on, they be like, I know he a good husband. They always smiling. I'm like, that don't mean I'm a good husband.
Right, exactly. That's a bad indicator if that's all you got to go on.
I was like, shit, the next 5 videos, I want to see frown.
Right.
I want to see the look of a beat down person. Like, we got to balance this shit out. Because see what happens is that women didn't think that's what marriage is.
Yep.
Marriage is, he's going to make me happy. I want to be smiling like Brother Andre's wives are always smiling. I want to be smiling like Brother David's wives are always smiling. I want to be smiling like Brother Chris's wives are always smiling.
Hey, Nina, you always happy? Are you always smiling running around here?
No, sir, not always.
Hey, that's just being real. I appreciate that.
Right.
That'd be a problem if you were. I think you was retarded or something. I know you ain't.
Right.
And I would think I was retarded. That's what it would be. Like,
right.
Retarded? You ain't doing your job. You don't ever push for growth. Because you
yes,
ain't never
sir. There we go.
When the pressure is on you. You ain't sitting there smiling.
No. No.
Yep.
You're right, brother.
Brother Alex said, I have learned to distance myself from families that do not have the appropriate order about them. I don't need my daughters learning how to be rebellious. That's real. I've separated fellowship. This is why, for those of you that ask, this is why we don't really fellowship with a lot of people.
Same here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I have no problem fellowshipping. I enjoy fellowshipping. But the reality is, too many people talk, and too many people think that they, the last thing I need is for my wives to hear some woman say, you ain't got to submit all the time. my husband, he only makes me submit every Thursday.
Mm.
The Bible says evil communication corrupts good habits.
Yep.
I don't want my wife. See, and some of y'all men to keep her smiling, you'll let her sit in front of anybody. Go ahead and listen to them, baby. But just remember, I'm your head. No, you ain't. You a bitch with a clown suit on.
Yes, yes, sir.
Done convince yourself that you the head of your family.
Yeah.
And the thing is she knows that. She knows you're a bitch with a clown suit on.
Yes, sir. Hey, you just brought up a good point, brother. How you gonna be in covenant with? Watch this now. This for women. How you gonna be in covenant with a man? First of all, how you gonna be in covenant with two men at the same time? And I'm talking about women who be eating off all of these different tables. Watch that now. Your covenant is the person that's delivering. He delivered the meal to you. But no, you didn't got your TV all tuned in to Pastor so-and-so, Elder Do Right, and all of these other people. That's a problem. That's I'm gonna be honest with you. That has every bit of adulterous spirit in it. And I'm not being funny. You can't be in covenant with two men. It don't work like that.
Nope.
You ain't even in covenant with your father and your husband at the same time.
No. Tell the truth, brother. Tell it.
I'm just saying, because there are people in these contractual relationships where the husband, you so liberated, you giving everybody freedoms to go and watch whatever, do whatever, listen to whatever, and then you wonder why the person is not, watch this, in covenant, in agreement, in alliance with you, bonded to you. That's because guess what? She got that covenant over there with that pastor, that church, that ministry. That's where her allegiance is at. Remember the word say you can't serve two what? Masters.
Yes, damn.
You're going to either love one and what? Hate the other. Now you got to figure out which one you want to be. You want to be the hated one or the loved one? And you're going to let her, you so crazy, you're going to let her choose which one.
Man.
Now it don't work like that. No woman can tell me I'm gonna be in covenant with you. Okay, well let's see. What have you been watching? You told me you've been watching so and so. That's out. You've been listening to Jim Baker. That's out. Because you're not in covenant with Jim Baker or Jimmy Swaggart or Creflo Dollar or whoever that's getting your dollar. That's
follow Yeshua.
Exactly. That's truth.
When you have that husband, you have no covenant. First of all, you can't have a covenant if I don't know who the hell you are. But I'm just saying. But you can't be coming out with this. Well, Brother Chris, Brother Andre, and Brother David said this. Now, we ain't got no covenant with you.
Nope, don't bring us in it. I'm good.
We ain't even got a contract with you. We ain't got nothing but with you.
Nope.
You can call me Bennett. I ain't don't put my name in there.
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
Yes, sir. That's just how serious this is. Matter of fact, we have to.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
It would behoove really the women. Hey, like you said before, you should be getting permission from your head if you can even listen to this, if you can even participate in this. And then really, and I'm just saying as a man, he should be listening to it and then digesting what he need or what he don't need, or for study, not for like just digesting for study purposes, and going back in the word and going over himself. So when he give it to you, it's coming directly from him, which will be coming from Yah.
Woo!
Not necessarily from Andre, Chris, or David.
You should never, as a man, say, Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What they were saying, that's what I want. Nope.
Mm-mm.
It needs to come from your mouth, men. Your mouth. There is power in her hearing it from you and not from us.
Yes, sir. From us, to be honest, it's really not nourishment. It's not nurturing. It's fast food. This being real.
Woo!
It's fast food, Bob. But from you, it's a home cooked meal. It's the real deal. That's gonna come from your. Guess what? It's gonna come from your spirit, which should be what, the spirit of Yah. Not, I mean, it should just come from. It should come from us. This is something to sharpen your behind up. Just to be real, when brothers are talking, it's really just to sharpen up other men. By default, we know that there's some women gonna hear it. But guess what? That don't mean women supposed to be sliding up in the house, and then all of a sudden you tell your husband, "Well, I heard on the Following Yeshua channel, this is what the brothers are talking about." Hey, lady, don't do that. Don't cause something to come upon our house with that craziness.
No,
thank you.
Because if your husband calls me and lets me know, hey, brother, my wife will listen to your channel. She said this. I'm pulling her, and I've had people do this. I'm pulling her from your channel for a little bit. I'm still going to be listening, but she's going to shut the hell up. I'm like, hallelujah, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's the way you do it.
Yes, sir.
Because she should not be, in reality, even, we said it before, you married women who are listening to this channel, you should be making sure that your husband, anything that is said, you should not take it from us until you have gone to your husband, because, whom you have the covenant with, and gotten his say on it. If I say, women, you need to shut up and don't ever talk. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if I did say that, and he was like, nah, baby, I want you to talk. Guess what you do?
Talk.
Talk.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Well, Pastor so-and-so said I'm supposed to be quiet. Pastor so-and-so ain't your husband. Right. Pastor so-and-so ain't got a covenant with you. Pastor so-and-so ain't your head. Pastor so-and-so ain't one flesh with you.
Yep. His arm of influence stops at our gate.
Yes, sir.
Or at the end of his gate, technically.
Yep.
At least it should, but it definitely stopped at the beginning of this gate.
Yes, sir. Hey,
some of y'all men let it. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, brother.
Say, you know that we have talked about this right here, and this is gonna mess some folks up. If we can just go ahead and lay it on down for y'all, do you know that women, y'all don't have a covenant with the Most High? I know it's gonna take a while for you to digest that. You don't have no covenant with the Most High. You can't even find that in the Bible. Not you. That comes through your husband. So when you go headlong and you go read, you shouldn't even read the word, digest that, and then you come back and say, your husband say X and you say Y, and you say, well, baby, I read this in the word. It is. It is so. No, it ain't. Because you didn't get it from the person that y'all gave it to. You went on your own. You don't have a direct covenantal relationship with y'all. That's through the process of a husband. That's through the process of being covered. I know it's going to take a while.
This is why. No, it should take a while, though. Because a lot of these women read the Bible and they see it as this mutuality.
Yes, sir.
When it says, the Bible's very explicit. Like when Yeshua fed the 5,000, it wasn't a total of 5,000. It was 5,000 men.
There it is.
2,000 men. Y'all made explicit, there's explicit times where there's speech being directed to the husbands, and then he says wives. This idea that we have a covenant with Yah. I just like to know, where do you see that at?
Yes, sir.
You can't even fast on your own.
There we go.
You couldn't even fast.
There we go.
You couldn't even speak in the church.
Yes, sir.
So if you had a question, you couldn't even get it answered by the elders because you were supposed to go to your husband at home.
Yes, sir. Y'all hitting that, bro.
Where does it say that women were even allowed in the temple?
It doesn't. It doesn't, and especially not for what they think. You wasn't in service. You wasn't a high priest, Levite, none of that stuff. So I don't even know where they get that stuff from. But what y'all said is true. They think that it's like a mute. They have the same amount of. First of all, they think they have the same covenant that we have with y'all. That's number one. They say, "Oh no!" They always come. I read it over in the New Testament. It's for everybody. Hold on a second. Are you sure? Are you sure it was for everybody? But that's really why men don't have the power that they should have. And if you really thought about it, if your wife was in covenant with you, she could not come to you and bring the word against you. If she's in covenant with you, she couldn't use the word as a weapon for you.
Nope.
No matter what you're doing.
That's spot on, brother.
Hallelujah, bro.
That's it. And that's all part of what 1 Corinthians 14 says. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So it says a woman is commanded to be under obedience, as says the law. So if you're a woman and you're not under obedience to some husband, father, or male covering, and I mean kinsman, husband, and father, if you're not under their obedience, as saith the law, then you're a Torah breaker.
Hold on a second. Did you highlight kinsman, husband, and father? So you mean you can't be covered by Tom, Dick, Harry, Jerry, Fred, Brad, Brian, any old body?
The only time I see that referenced is when she's over 60 years old, the husband of one wife, have lodged at strangers, has washed the saints' feet, has raised up children, is known for every good work. Not just any old woman. I'm 35 years old and it's me and ya. I'm 26 years old and it's me and ya. Nah, it's not. Numbers 30 covers that perfectly. Under the care of your husband, your father, then your husband. Bam. So I don't understand it. I mean, is that not what the book says? It says, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So if they're commanded to be under obedience, they are commanded to have a covering. So all this, it's me and Yah. It's me and Jeebus.
Oh, man.
Or how about this, sisters? There's no such thing as it's me and my mama.
No. Y'all ain't covered.
That's not covered. Your mama ain't covering you. If your mama was covering you, she'd be like Naomi did to Ruth. Hey, baby, you gonna get covered, and by you getting covered, we get covered.
Hallelujah, brother. Man, that's it right there.
We have a lot of rogue women.
Yes,
who
sir.
do not want to be commanded, that they do not want to be under obedience.
That's it. They want to.
As men, aren't we under obedience as wives all the time?
Yes, sir. We don't have no spiritual coverings neither. That is not such thing. That's bullshit. I don't know where the hell they got that shit from, but they need to take that back to the pits of hell. There's no such thing as a spiritual covering. Some old foreign man talking about he covering somebody spiritually. Please.
Man.
That shit crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. When you go through the law, I don't see any reference of a spiritual covering at all.
No, sir.
Nope.
That ain't the book.
Let's continue. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands, who is their covering, who they are under obedience to, at home. For it is a shame for women to speak in the church. It's a shame. So how did they get access to their pastor so damn much?
Hey, man, they had access to him almost 24/7, or whatever time he was at their own home.
Woo!
That's who her pastor is.
Woo!
Yep.
Man.
And it was a shame for him to bypass him and to try to go ask somebody else.
Yep.
Wow.
A shame. But what does the Bible say? A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So if you're bypassing your husband, you're a shameless woman. And not my words, so don't get mad at me. But a female dog is a bitch. So a shameless woman is a bitch.
That's it.
That's the Bible, right? When Yeshua called the woman at the well, he said, it's not good for me to give what is holy unto dogs. What did he call her?
A dog.
A female dog.
Exactly.
He called her a bitch.
Man.
It's not, there ain't nothing to get offended by that word. That's what Yeshua called that woman.
Yep.
Wow.
And she didn't come back and be like, you don't call me a bitch, nigga. You nigga, who you think you is? You just think. She didn't do all that. She said in humility, which showed she was shamefaced. She said,
I'm a dog.
Even the dogs eat the crumbs for the master's table.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Hey, T. Waters, man, this like Def Comedy Jams. He said Pastor got that open door, open drawers policy.
That woman at the well, that illustrated perfect recognition of place and value.
Yes, sir.
Humility.
Brother Daryl Vick, can you find that verse and put it up here so that we can address that question? He asked about that the question, the verse that says there is neither male nor female. Just write where it is so that we can go to it. These are the things that a lot of pastors always say things like, people don't want to touch this. Well, you know what? Pastors don't want to touch this because they lose their power over your house, men.
Yes, sir.
If they said, hey, stop listening to me, listen to your husband. Don't come to me with your problem in your marriage. Talk to your husband. If he wants to come and talk to me, he will. Nah, the reason why these pastors and leaders won't do that is because they rely on the woman to give them your shit so that when they put you out, they have a story against you. Thank you, Brother Daryl. Uh, 327.
I think it's 28. Well, 20. Yeah, 27.
It's 28. Okay. In order to understand this verse, again, you have to understand the law. Based on the law, is there Jew and Greek? Based on the law. Based on the law, are there free men and bondmen? Based on the law. Based on the law, are there males and females? So we have to remember, Yahshua did not come to change anything. So he didn't come to say, there's no males and females, you're all just tranny.
Not so.
Man.
Not
androgynous.
So. Yeah, exactly. In fact, if you go past this verse, I believe it's in Peter, he actually tells the servants that the servants are actually told how to be to their master. In Ephesians, it actually tells the servants how to be to their master. So again, the question always arises, what was written to Paul from the church of Galatia that caused him to put that response? Here's what I read, what Paul is saying. Paul is saying, obviously there's male and female. Obviously there is. Obviously there's bond and free because we have a law in the Torah where how a master is to treat his servant. If there is no male and female, then there is no marriage. Right?
Yes, sir.
Or are we all just homos? If there's no male and female.
No, it's male and
I think
female.
it goes along with the same. I think it goes along with the same thing when Peter had that dream, and he said the sheep came down, and the angel told him, all the animals. He said, "Take, look, eat." He wasn't telling Peter that all food was food, like Christianity, westernized Christianity, has convinced people to think that everything's food. What Yahshua was saying is that he is there, he has come. Right. If you read it, I just read it. Oh crap! I just read it and I lost it. I lost the verse.
Hey, when you look at that whole chapter, when you look at that whole chapter, it's really talking about being sons of the Most High. Sons of the Most High.
Right.
The way you believe Yah is you obey Yah. So guess what you will first start with? Keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. And we would be foolish to think that Christ did anything other than that.
Right.
I mean, when you look at this whole verse, it's really talking about sonship. It's giving a good contrast that just works alone won't work because faith and works go together. Well, how do you know you have faith? You actually gonna do the damn work by keeping the law. It's not what is it? It's not a osmosis type faith.
Sure.
We just claim it and claim it. I believe on Christ. That's enough. Y'all send me some grace now. Now, how about you keep them damn laws?
Right.
How about you save your damn soul and your family soul and their lives by keeping his laws? How about you get the blessings by it's not I'm gonna receive blessings just because I believe on the Messiah alone. That won't work. They go together. And only I say this about sons, no matter how women chop it up, they can say Greek, Hebrew, they can call them Hebrew national hot dogs if they want to. This whole book was written to men, to sons. Sons obey father, without a doubt. And if y'all is my father, if y'all is our father, guess what we do? We obey him. We do what he asks us to do.
I think it has a lot also to do with. I think it has a lot to do also what.
My bad.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know what
go ahead.
He was trying to say, it almost came off as women try to use that to say we are one in the Messiah. No.
They do.
You ain't no son. You ain't no son. So sit down somewhere with that. That ain't how that works.
I think it's in a lot of ways. Oh, Brother Jay Morris said something right there. Woo! Right there. Look at Galatians chapter 4, verse 6. Listen to this. Galatians chapter 4, verse 6. And because ye are sons, Yah hath sent forth the spirit of his son into your heart, crying, Abba, Father. Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of Yah through Messiah. Yah's talking to men. But I believe that what he is doing is, sisters, just like the same way he says there's no Jew or Greek. When you read in the Torah, Yah says that, the stranger is to keep it as the homeborn. Right? So technically there would be no Jew or Greek. What this world tries to do is it's always trying, the same thing it's doing right now. It's trying to unify so there is no difference between men and women. That's one of the verses that they use. This book was written to men. It was written to men. It was written to men. Look at the Proverbs, the horsewoman. It starts off, my son. My son. It's written to men, so much so that the Bible does not give warnings about men to women, but it warns men about women all day long. This is what happens. This is what happens when the Bible says, the Ephesians or 1 Corinthians 14, 13, the last verse, let all things be done decently and in order.
Yes, sir.
So when you skip ahead after Galatians, there's the book of Ephesians. In Ephesians, Paul had no problem differentiating between man and woman, didn't he? In Ephesians 5, look at it. Ephesians 5. Ephesians 6. In Ephesians 6, it says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling and singleness of heart as unto Messiah. Now, I thought we just read in Galatians that we're all the same. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 22 to the end of the chapter tells husbands and wives how to treat each other. I thought we were all the same in Messiah. I hope this brings clarity to, you have to know the Torah first. Before you read a verse and say, what about this? You have to always go back to Torah. Otherwise, it's just like reading Peter's dream about all the meat that comes down. If you don't know Torah, you're going to say, see, I can eat everything. Yeah, I changed it. He never changed it. Ever.
That's it. Oh, I like that House of Lamar's comment there. That's spot on. That's why Paul said, I speak to them who know the law.
That's right, Brother Lamar. That's it, Brother Lamar. Damn. That's it, Brother Lamar. You said it right there. That is why he said that. He is speaking specifically to people that know the law. So when westernized Christians pick up the book and they don't know the law, this confuses them.
Confusion.
Because he's only speaking to them. That's how people say, Paul was a New Testament Christian for the New Testament church. Paul was a Pharisee of Pharisees. He was a Benjaminite. He knew the law. He was a Hebrew of Hebrews. And he only spoke to those that knew the law. Brother Lamar, you hit it right there, brother. Bless you.
That was good.
That is. So you can only understand Paul's writings only if you know the law. Brother Daryl, that's exactly it. And that's what the law says.
That's it.
That's exactly it. Brother David, you want to speak on that? Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say that's a perfect summation of it right there, Brother Daryl. That's it. Understand, opportunity is there for all within the proper placement and order. But this whole concept of a single woman operating out, uncovered woman operating outside of the bounds of a father or husband as a covering, you know, this whole just me and Yeshua, me and Jebus. No.
Jebus. In fact, you don't.
Yeshua, man, woman. And specifically,
in fact, I even asked the question.
Husband, wife.
I asked the question, where do they even get this idea that they just walk up to Jebus and it's all good?
The church.
I think too, and they like to pick out the Mary Magdalene type stories. Mary Magdalene did it. And that's what destroys us. We love taking that one-off story and making it ours. You can see humility all throughout the book. Obedience all throughout the book. And that's between us and the Father and a wife and us. It's constant throughout the book. It's not some one-off story. That's right, T. Waters. As long as she gets Jebus, she don't need nobody else. Until she got to call the police. Where was Jebus then? We have to cut out this ultra religion out of. And if there are any more questions, please ask. We have about 27 more minutes. If there's any more questions, please ask. Covenant and contracts. Well, we have to get serious about I'm talking serious. You know, I was talking with the brother, and I told him, I said, you know what's sad about men today? In order to say you like somebody, or in order to say, hey, you did something good, or in order to, even to be friends today, as men, a man always has to be the leader of everybody else. Men can't just be like, hey, we brothers. We all learn from each other. We all, you know, I'm not the best in everything. None of us are the best in everything. So we are always in a place of teaching and submission at the same time.
Yes, sir.
I submit when I don't know. And if somebody doesn't know, then I have to help teach. But this world today is so much of one person's got all the answers for everybody.
And
that has destroyed men Because men see it as, in order for me to be a good brother, I have to walk up to you and say, hey, brother, here's my deed.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't do that, I'm not a good brother.
Yes, I'm going to be a terrible
Hey, brother. Right.
I'm going to be the best terrible brother there is.
Brother Lamar said, and agree on every single solitary thing. Who does that shit?
Man.
I agree with every single solitary thing that Yah said. But that's Yah.
That's it.
That's my headship.
Mm.
Brother Jamil asked a question. He said, I have a question. Do children in some cases keep women single? I had a single mother tell me it is just about me and my daughter. Yes, they do.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I tell her to stay over there with just you and your daughter then.
Yep. My dog.
Yep.
I wonder if her daughter's name is Jeebus.
Mm.
Because at that point, to say it's me and my daughter, I mean, does nobody read the story of Elijah? Was it and that mother and her son? In fact, I will say this, and I'll probably get in trouble for this. One of the worst positions for children is just them and their mom.
Man.
I agree.
That is one of the worst positions for children. Them and their mom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where they will be taught to just worship their own feelings and emotions. The same way they learn firsthand watching their mama do it.
Yes, sir.
Because all that daughter is going to see is mama single. And men will probably go through that house. No, there's no way it's going to come out good. If that daughter, if mama goes to work, that daughter's going to think that it's her job to go get a career. If mama's at home and living off welfare and the system and child support, that daughter's going to think that that's how she should live. Off the system, welfare, child support. It's a lose-lose. I talk to many, I've talked to many women. It's a lose. That's one of the worst situations. I talked with Ebony and Lydia about that because they both came from their mama's house. I said that is one of the worst things. What that does is that causes the little girl to see relationships in a contract and not a covenant.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly it.
Man, one of the best things that a woman could do if you've got a child is find a.
Man, brother.
I just say this. I'm gonna say something. I don't mean to be offensive, but if you just live life with you and your child, you're stupid.
Yep, that's not in the book.
You're willfully ignorant.
Yep.
Brother Daryl said it. That's just another way of telling women they don't need a man. That's right.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think if they really knew that when they read this book, that during those times, for women that wasn't covered, that's how they became prostitutes. So they can survive.
It's happening. It's happening in South America right now as we speak. Every country where the currency is devalued, like the dollar is in America right now, when she can't make that money and her child got to eat, there's a reason why prostitution is one of the oldest professions ever. So a lot of you women will call other women who say, shit, I'm trying to get covered. You call her thirsty.
Yep. or food.
Yep. And you know what? Hey, thirst is an indicator of dehydration. Dehydration is an indicator of you about to die. So if
Yes,
I have
sir.
to get thirsty and I go and get me something to drink, I go get me a covering, I find Yahshua HaMashiach and I obey him, you can call me whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
You're not about to call me single.
Ooh.
Guzzling that chocolate milk.
Mm.
Woo! That yoo-hoo. Woo! Man. And the problem is that oftentimes that's a generational thing. Her mama was probably that same situation, and her mama's mama was probably in that same situation. So you can see the generational curses as they go down the family line. Grandmama was single and a baby mama. Mama was single and a baby mama. She's single and a baby mama. And now her daughter's about to be single and a baby mama. House of Lamar said it right there. House of Lamar spitting out fire today. He said, Yahshua said, you'll never thirst again if you drink from him. So I'm glad he chose me. Right.
Hallelujah.
I'm glad that I recognize my thirst and went to fulfill it.
Yes, sir. Laid all pride
Because
aside.
Yep.
Just
All pride, brother.
Man.
Brother David, ever since you had Yahshua's, the water that came from him, have you ever been thirsty?
No, sir. No, I ain't outside dipping or looking for nobody else.
Woo! Man. I don't need somebody to try to add some flavor to my water.
No, sir.
I don't need a packet of Flavor Aid. I'm good. I ain't thirsty. He never did say it was gonna always taste good. But I ain't thirsty. Man. But yes, sir, Brother Jamil, that happens often. Women will choose. T. Water said, but she had a degree in a career. Right. There's always that one. But she got a career and a degree. Hey.
And that'll only be satisfied for so long.
Right.
And then it'll be too
because
late.
we see plenty of examples in the Bible where women had degrees and careers, don't we?
Not unless we were just talking about that prostitute.
Right. She definitely had a career.
Man. Ooh.
Definitely. Is Brother Andre doing a mukbang?
No, sir. I ran to the restroom real quick.
Oh, okay. All right.
My bad. I missed something. What I missed?
You didn't miss much. We're just joking around.
Okay.
I got a verse for y'all, brother.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 23, verse 32. Talking about covenant. We're gonna start at verse 23, so we know he's talking about it. He says, "For my angel shall go before thee, and bring thee in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works. But thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve Yahweh your Elohim, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water. And I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people to them that shall come. And I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. I mean, even just there, you see Yah's wisdom. He said, I'm not going to just kick them all out immediately.
Right.
Because if I do that, all the insects and wild animals are going to reproduce and take over it. Man. He's so amazing.
Yes, sir.
That shit's amazing. And I will set bounds from the Red Sea even into the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land unto your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Look at this. And thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest I make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare before thee. Which means there are certain people, brothers and sisters, you ain't supposed to have covenants with. There are certain people, that's why women, when you be like, I'm with this man and he doing this to me, why'd you make a covenant with him? Why didn't you have him tested? Why didn't you see if he served other gods?
That's how Solomon fell.
There you go.
People always try to look at the number of his wives. It wasn't the wife or the number. It was this issue right here. Who they served.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Men, stop going into and getting these Hivites and Hittites and Canaanites and Jebusites and Perizzites. Stop going in and taking your wives from your enemies, from these heathen nations.
Yes, sir.
It's one thing if she is humble and submitted, because shit, today, that goes almost further than the head covering and skirt.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because that head covering and skirt is supposed, what is the head covering supposed to represent? It's not supposed to represent just her. I'm a single woman with a head covering on. Why do you wear it, single woman?
Right. I'm uncovered with a head cover.
Because that's our culture. Actually, I believe it wasn't it Rebecca who, when she saw Isaac, covered her face with a veil and her head?
Exactly.
She wasn't just running around with a head covering on.
Yep. I think it said when she lighted off her ass, she threw that thing on.
Yep. So this fake ass culture we got, where you got every unsubmitted, single, rebellious woman with a head covering on. With head coverings on. Literally, you're bringing a dishonor to your future head. I'm just wearing a head covering because it looked cool. Destroying what it's supposed to mean.
Hey.
They think head coverings mean they're a daughter of Sarah.
Right. I got my skirt because I don't want to wear what pertains to a man. But yet every last part about you, your attitude, your voice, your authority is of a man.
Man.
So why are you wearing a haircut? Why are you wearing a skirt for talking about I don't wear what pertains to a man? Yes, you do. Yep. Your attitude is of a man. Your lack of covering is that of a man. Your ignorance, everything about you is that of a man. I don't need no covering, but I got a skirt and a head covering on. Because that's our culture. Well, don't mention our culture because our culture was women were being covered. That was our culture. That was more of our culture than your damn head covering and skirt.
Preach it, brother.
That's right. T. Water said head covering on and all her cleavage hanging out. I've changed a lot. I've learned to respect these women who come to the faith. You know, because you know when a woman comes to the faith and she got her tight ass jeans on, you know, and people be clowning on her. And then what happens is the church, the ministry tells her, you need to change those clothes. So you basically told her to change her clothes but remain the same. Why don't you let her go through that process? The same way we all did.
That's it right there. Yes, sir.
Allow her to go through that process of renewing herself. Because what happens is you tell her to put on a skirt and put on a head covering, and suddenly that means some shit. When most of the women in this faith today got head coverings or skirts on and are destroying men's houses.
Yes, sir.
But you convince them that a head cover, you know, I see on YouTube or Facebook, you know, they show that picture of the woman wearing her tight ass jeans, and then it goes, she goes from this to holiness, and it's got her in her skirt and her head covering, but it don't make a mention of her submitting or being covered or changing the way she think. All she did was do what most people do, change the outward adorning of the man.
Yep, you just teaching her to fake it.
Yes, sir.
You're teaching her how to fake it. I'd rather that woman wore some tight ass tights until she understood the meaning of it.
Hey,
Daryl Vick.
Hey, that's
he said something right there. Go ahead, brother Andre. Read that. That's fire.
He said, frankly, I'd rather have a pants, even Daisy Dukes wearing submissive woman than a head covering, long dress wearing rebellious woman any day. Brother,
y'all hear that?
Agree with you at 1,000%.
Tanisha and Ebony, y'all hear that?
Because all
Daryl Vick said
can be taught.
He said, yeah, right. He said, frankly, I'd rather have a pants, even Daisy Dukes wearing submissive woman than a head covering, long dress wearing rebellious woman any day.
Man.
Whoa!
Beguiled. Lord have mercy.
We were talking about that here in this house, actually this whole week, about how women go around pretending with a head covering on a skirt on, rebellious as shit.
Yeah.
But because they got their clothes on and they're able to influence these simple-minded dudes out here, that they somehow righteous and Israel because they got a clothing change.
They got a head covering, long skirts, and a gag ball, and it ain't for them. And a whip. Come here, you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they putting the gag ball on you.
Yep. That's what I said, and it ain't for them.
Man,
I call him like, hey, brother, how you doing? Brother, you got the gag ball in again?
Man.
Hey, how about you just text me? Just text me. Oh, you can't text me because you got your handcuffed with the hands behind your back?
I thought y'all said
I'll
y'all
see
weren't under contract anymore. I thought you said you switched to covenant.
Man, bro.
But we got these women convinced. These men convincing these women that you holy, you uncovered, you have no authority over, no obedience to authority over you. You're a pastor. That's bullshit.
Yep. Because you cleaned
He's
up
convinced you your head covering and a skirt is righteousness. You're righteous because you have a head covering and a skirt on.
Nope.
And you're single.
Man.
That's crazy.
Hey, I'm
and then what happens is that they're actually complicit in building that pride up in that woman.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Hey, I'm gonna throw a shell shocker in there. The day Fred was working with me out in the front, and I told her, she came out there. She had a skirt on and had a sun hat on. You know what I told her? I said, if you want to, you can go in the house and put on your jogging pants or something, because we working with, wire and different stuff when we taking apart this chicken coop. I said, and I said all that to say this, because she's in compliance. I tell my people that day, hey, when we out here doing this heavy, laborious stuff, we working with wire, fencing, and all that mess. Go put on you something to cover your legs so you don't get scraped up. You know why? Because they already exemplify what holiness and righteousness is by being what? Submitted unto me.
That's it. Yes, sir.
And I could feel, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I could feel comfortable with them doing it, even if another brother showed up. I'm not finna trip, because these my people.
Yes, sir.
We got this thing, what y'all hitting on right now is the truth. We got this thing all backwards. We think it's all for show. I gotta look a certain way. Hey, is my friend just right, bro? My beard trimmed just right? My wife head covering good?
Is her skirt long enough? It's
yes,
got
sir.
enough mud stains on there.
There we go. There we go.
All the while, her attitude is funky as hell.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Don't question that.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
100%.
T. Water said they have the look of righteousness, but his way is far from it. And that goes for us brethren too.
Absolutely.
A lot of men running around, look at my beard, bro. I got these long ass fringes. How you gonna be at the club? I saw a video of dudes at the club with fringes on.
See, that's foolishness.
At the gay parade.
Right.
Oh, man.
So, it's just that mystification of, like, I literally mystified how women run around. They ain't doing what the Bible says, but their head covering and skirt. Is that what y'all's going to judge?
Nope.
Are you going to go before him and he'll be like, all right, where's your husband, woman? Well, I didn't need one. It's between me and you, Jeebus. Look at my head covering. Look at my skirt. I wore the special one because I knew I was coming to judgment, and I wanted you to know I was righteous. Because see, I also look at marriage as a witness statement. Why? Your husband, even though your husband is not going to go with you to judgment, how you treat him is a witness statement. So that when you do go to judgment, y'all can look at your husband and be like, damn, you doubled his days, brought him peace. He was able to serve me. He was able to serve me better. Without worry, without fear, without any problem. You doubled his. He was gonna live till he was 70, but now he's living until he's 95 because you brought him peace.
Brother, you got me wondering.
You obeyed him, submitted. Listen, you don't even gotta stand, but just go ahead and go on in, sister.
Yes, sir. Hey, you got me wondering now, is the submitted Daisy Duke line gonna be the long line getting into heaven or Chimaim? And is it the dress line gonna be the line going straight to hell? Because that's all you brought that man while he was here on earth, while you was with him.
Man. I mean, I'm being real. We keep pushing on these women. Change your clothes real quick, and you righteous. And she destroying everything that she ever known with a head covering and skirt on. I mean, do we not read the book? Didn't Yeshua constantly tell and get on the Pharisees for the outward adorning?
Yes, sir.
The outward adorning of a man, the outward adorning of people.
Yes, sir.
He got on them all. He literally clowned them. Inside, you are as dead man's bones.
Man.
So that should tell us something. As so-called the faith, believers, Israel, whatever you want to call it. That's why, when I talk to a woman, I'm not sitting there saying, shit, where's your head covering and skirt, girl? Where's your head covering and skirt? You ain't righteous.
Nope.
I'll pass on all that.
Yes, sir.
Because if she's submitted and obedient, she'll change into whatever I want her to wear.
Oh, all day.
Even if that's
so instead of her changing for her pastor, changing to be accepted, the go along to get along gang. I heard a guy, Kwame Brown. I don't know if y'all heard Kwame Brown. He's an ex-NBA basketball player. That dude, he talked real. I like the way he talked. That dude talks real. But he calls people the go along to get along gang. The people that go along just to get along. They'll butt jive, dance, do whatever they got to do for people to like them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these women are doing today. And men are teaching them, just go along. Go along to get along. No. Submit yourself to your own husband. Who the hell cares? If another nigga come by and say, hey, you got jeans on. You shouldn't be married to no Hebrew man. All she got to do is say, listen, I'm not with you. Why are you worried about it?
Right.
I'm not your husband. I'm not. If he wants me to change, I'll change.
Really,
when he wants to change.
All she got to say is, go talk to my husband.
Right. Right. And that goes for anything.
Yes, sir.
Anything. Because see, I stepped off that. I'm gonna be real with y'all who are on the stream right now, who made it 3 hours. I'm stepping off all that religious bullshit.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
I have stepped off all that religious bullshit. I realize most of y'all niggas out there are only living this faith to get somebody else to like you.
Hey, when you went on for a minute, that's what me and brother, you came in right in the same time and said the same thing.
Oh, for real?
We had just talked about this. I told him, we all talked about this before, about what pertains to a man. I was just telling them that I told Sarah today, hey, we out here doing this laborious work, nigga. You ain't gotta wear that skirt. Go put on you some jogging pants or something so you don't get scraped up. I'm cool. I'm not with that bull core. I'm just saying, because you were submitted, I told them because you submitted to me as your father. I said, I didn't Keisha the same thing. Sometimes I've seen them, they running for head coverings or whatever. I'm like, hey, you in the house with me. What's the problem? You on the land with me. It's all good. So when you say that religious bullcrap, nah. It's been times. I'm gonna say it's been a couple times. You know, when we go to the feast day, sometimes it be cold. It be colder than normal sometimes. I be like, man, I ain't finna trip if you want to put on your jogging pants. It's all good.
See, and that's the thing. When you have covenanted brothers and righteousness, you already know we ain't checking out each other's wives.
No doubt, bro. No doubt.
I'm not gonna be like, damn, I didn't know she had ass like that. Listen, let me tell y'all something. A woman has the same ass in a skirt that she does in a loose pair of sweats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The same ass. You can't hide ass. When a woman got ass, she got ass. When she's large busted, let me be anatomically, appropriate. When she's large busted.
Unless you want to wear one of them hoop skirts
she's
with big old rings.
Right. Right.
It ain't nobody trying to do that.
No, sir.
If your wife has to wear a skirt so that men don't lust after her, then you have a problem with the niggas you hanging around with.
No doubt.
That's the problem. The problem is the men you are hanging around with.
Yes, sir. 100%.
That means you have a contract and not a covenant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm just saying.
Anything outside of that is not a brother. Go ahead, bro.
Ain't no brother.
It's a false religion.
Yes, sir.
Right. Hey, brother, you can't wear shorts on my land. Why?
What?
Because a woman might lust at your ankle. What? If a woman's lusting at my ankle, she's got a much bigger problem. It's called an adulterous spirit.
Yes, sir. Or men, hey, the men can't wear pants. The men can only wear pants. They can't wear short pants. Hey, when you go
can't wear short pants.
Hey, when men go down to the creek and stuff, or the river or wherever they're going, they got to be dressed in overalls so the women won't be lusting at them in a hoodie.
He has to go. He has to go to the creek looking like he about to go scuba diving.
Hey, y'all leave my wetsuit alone.
Hey, man.
But these same cats that want your wife wearing a skirt are the same ones that'll baptize your wife.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep, there it is.
What you
and see her come out of the water with that shirt singing into her body, all her curves.
Wow. Hold on, real. They had an extra long speech when she come up, where they holding on.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. They repositioning all the time.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, what you saying?
Yep.
Y'all are really hitting on something. I remember it was a time where I started to get that religious spirit. And I remember I used to say, well, if we go to a river, a creek, or a beach, I'm just gonna buy y'all those. This was early, when you first get in the faith or whatever. You reading the word, you learning things. It's very easy to get a religious spirit now. Because think about this, I was gonna buy one of those Islamic bathing suit deals, and then I started thinking to myself, shit, when we do go somewhere, I'm always trying to go where ain't nobody there but us. So
Yes,
why
sir.
you need
That's
to
where
put
it
on
is.
all that? And then once I got around righteous brethren in their family, I was like, well, shit, I ain't looking at their folks. That's his shit. That's his possession. And I know he ain't looking at mine. I'm good.
Right. That's exactly it. Not even that, but we're not even looking at each other's daughters like that.
We
No
just
doubt.
chilling.
So this situation we got where if we make ourselves look like the faith, we're in the faith, is bullshit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Have a long, beautiful beard, but you ain't living nothing.
Not a damn thing. And then we preach that, and you know where a lot of this stuff comes from, right? It comes from Christianity, westernized Christianity. A lot of it comes from that Pentecostalisms.
3.0.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Pentecostal, apostolic type, situation where, if you don't wear a head covering, then you're not righteous. Well, let me tell you, most of the people wearing head covering aren't righteous.
That's it.
Sir. Man.
So this is just my admonition to you brothers. Some of y'all be talking to women and they may not have made the full clothing transformation. Why don't you focus on the heart and the mind transformation before you keep pushing on this? You need to put a head covering on. You need to put a skirt on. Because what does that do?
She ain't even been taught. She ain't even been taught. What you talking about a head covering from? You don't even know how to teach her yet. You don't even know where to start. You ain't even started reading a book to her. What are you talking about? You focus on. I mean, that's really that's probably a whole nother stream. Sometimes, as men, we focusing on the wrong crap. I want her to be submitted. I want her to be submitted. I want her to be submitted. Why didn't you find somebody with the right spirit off real? How about that?
Right.
How about you stop looking at tits and ass and start looking and see what kind of spirit they got? How about that?
Or how about you stop focusing on the head covering and skirt and realize, there you go.
Okay. There we go.
Stop looking at the head covering and skirt and realize that righteousness, holiness, obedience, set apartness is not, we are so focused on the external. We think set apartness is moving out of the city and changing your clothes.
Ooh.
If you really think about that, that shit is so superficial and easy. True set apartness, holiness is in here. This, your heart, will change everything else. When you change this, nobody has to tell you to change your clothes. You'll do it by yourself.
Yes, sir. Willingly.
Nobody's going to have to tell you to do any of this stuff. You'll do it yourself. When you read the law and you see, you see, you know what? What pertains to a man is not my genes. It's my foul-ass attitude. It's my disobedience. It's my pride, my arrogance, my loud mouth.
My selfishness.
My selfishness.
My worship of self.
That is what pertains to a man.
Man, bro.
Sin. Why don't I learn how to talk softly? How to listen? When my husband says, hey, baby, can you give me a cup of water? I know there's two types of people. The one is like, nah, nigga, you do it. That's a man. Let me do the opposite. I'm going to jump up and run to get his water. Because isn't that what the wife of Ishmael did when Abraham came?
Yes, sir.
How many of you women represent your husband well to others around them, including your own friends?
Man.
Isn't that what set apartness is? When your husband's not around, are you a nigga? Do you truly all the time represent your husband? That is a much more valuable thing than your skirt and hair cover. I'm sorry. And for all you dudes that are bound to, I can't wear shorts, the Bible says nakedness is in the thighs. So wear some shorts past your knees, please.
There we go.
Damn.
You made them 1960s.
I'm with you, brother Daryl.
Shorts.
Huh?
Nah. Those look like boxer briefs.
Man.
Sometimes, you be watching them games. In the olden days, I had to turn my head because I was like, I ain't gay.
Oh man.
I ain't gay. Come on now. But do we really want righteousness and holiness? Do we really want covenant and not contract? Do we really want real?
Absolutely.
Because most of y'all know you faking. And I'm talking about the ones who are watching this afterwards, who are part of other groups, camps, and ministries. Y'all know you faking it. Stop. Stop. You can't have a covenant if you're a liar.
Mm.
If you don't reside, live in truth, you can't have a covenant. The best you can have is a contract because you know you're going to break it.
That's fact.
That's why a lot of y'all want to know what the out clause is.
Mm.
What if I do this, will you leave me? Why are you asking me that shit? Shouldn't we be talking about the vision and how what role you're going to play to help us achieve that? Why are we sitting here worried and talking, having our longest discussions are about what would cause you to leave? This stuff disturbs me. The faith disturbs me. Everything's head coverings and skirts and fakeness, and how can you look on the outside, but in the inside, you're causing death. You're killing men. You're killing sisters. You're breaking up men's homes. You're destroying women. It's sad the fact that we have to have so much vetting. I mean, the vetting process, when you look in the Bible, was not as complicated as it is today. Today, people just don't live what they say. So you have to go through this long-ass vetting process. And that's a shame. Men should never have to feel, completely apprehensive to the point where they're just like, shit, I'm not adding nobody else to my house. They should never have gotten to this point.
That is true, brother. Man. It's almost like treading on dangerous ground because you don't know what's what. It looks a certain way.
Nobody's honorable. Nobody knows what a covenant is, so it's just like you're just guessing. And the only way a woman truly submits is if her pastor says so.
Yep. Or if your teaching lines up with the teaching of her last pastor.
Man.
Benny, bless you, my brother. Hallelujah. Hey, what we're saying is just things that we learned, and oftentimes we learn these things from experience. It sucks. So in reality, our hope is that those that have not gone through it don't have.
That's it. Man. Quit being fake.
Right.
Quit having feigned love. In other words, walk and operate in covenants and destroy these contracts.
Destroy them. If you're a man and you ever watch, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. It's delayed.
I was
Go ahead.
say, or if you're just a contract type nigga, because that's all you are, then just do that.
For real. As Brother David says, it's pastime. Pastime for all the fools. But Brother David always says.
Yes, sir.
And if you are a man and you are married, you may want to evaluate that contract you have.
Test it.
You may want to make sure you say, you know what, babe? Honestly, we've been operating as we have a contract. We need to have a covenant. No more contracts between me and you. No more bargaining. Are you mine or not? Because if you say you mine, then I have a covenant.
Yes, sir.
But if you're still yours, that's why we have this contract. And if you have a covenant, brothers, you can't be afraid. You know, I look at this, and this is powerful. Yah made a renewed covenant with his bride. Sometimes, brothers, you may have to renew your covenant.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. Sometimes even your covenant may require some clarity. And you can't be afraid to make the adjustments as you see fit, brother. Because in reality, once a woman agrees to be with you, she's yours. But remember, how you do her, Yah will judge you.
That's it. We also have a master in heaven, in Shemayim.
Yes, sir. I'm done, brothers. One of y'all can please, or both of y'all can please bring it home.
I think you already did, bro. I was about to say, there ain't no more we can say. You done already did it for us. I'm in 100% total agreement. I'm only going with covenants from here on out, period. And that starts with me.
Yes, sir. Same here, brother. Excellent stream, man. Excellent stream.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I enjoyed it. Man, we love y'all. Man, I'm gonna just go and chew on this for a while.
Yes, sir.
We love y'all. We guess we'll see y'all at the next appointed time, y'all willing. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Blessings and shalom. I guess we just gotta leave.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. All right. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
Let's shalom.